I stand on this like for real. 150,000 gold pieces to whoever gives me the head of that fuck nigga Yahweh. Like on a silver, I got the silver platter because that fuck nigga makes these assholes over here.
What you're about to witness is the utter annihilation of some mentally deficient individuals. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, pray for the idiots, and enjoy the show.
I got 4.
Jordan.
Yep. I can't even hear what you just said. That boy sound like he in a microwave.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. Smoothie, you got to do something about your static and background noise.
You sound like you in a microwave. That's funny as shit. Anyway, Jordan, you're a Christian, right?
Yep.
Over 21. Did we do that already? Probably did.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the topic?
Is Christianity a weapon formed against us? If you're a demon, I guess it is formed against you. If it's not, then if you're not a demon, if you like goodness, then yeah, Christianity is for you.
Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, but I'm on some slow me down substances, so I'm right there with him. I'm in the pocket.
Is it too soft?
No,
that's better. That's better volume wise.
Go ahead and repeat it one more time, please.
Yeah, so I was saying, if something's a demon, I guess it is a weapon formed against it. If it's something that likes goodness, then yeah, it's for you. So it depends on which side you're on.
Jordan, do you think that black people are demons?
That's what us means? Is it for black people? I don't know who it was for.
No, I'm asking because you say if you are a demon, then it is a weapon formed against you. So I'm asking, do you think that black people are demons?
No.
Okay. Do you think that Christianity was against black people at one point?
No, not the true Christianity.
What Christianity was there other than the Christianity that came and got black people?
The apostolic Christianity that's been around for 2,000 years now.
The one that led to the Catholic Church, the one that led, right. That was the one that came and picked up the black people.
And no.
That was the Pope. It was literally the Pope. Wait. Hold on. Make sure I'm getting this right. Wait.
One, I'm not even Catholic, so.
No, I'm asking, but the apostolic succession went to the Catholic Church, which made the Orthodox Church, right?
No.
Okay.
Orthodox Church and Catholic Church are completely different. They split off at different times.
Right, they split off at different times, but they started off as one church, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we still together. Okay. So that Christianity is the one that came and picked up black people.
No, that doesn't follow.
It really does. What Christians
because
black people? What Christians?
Well, one, it was the Protestants that subjugated people in America.
That was not true. That's not true. Come back to what I'm saying.
Oh no.
It was the Doctrine of Discovery was written by whom?
Two, I'm not Catholic, so
no, I'm asking.
Irrelevant.
Listen to the question I'm asking. The Doctrine of Discovery was written by whom?
You want to tell us? You want to say it's the Pope?
No, I'm asking you. The Doctrine of Discovery was written in 1493 by whom?
You could say it was the Pope's officials.
Okay. It was a paper bull. Okay. That Christianity is what came and picked up black people.
I'm not Catholic. I don't know.
I know you're not Catholic. But I didn't say you. I'm talking about Christianity. I didn't say Jordan.
That's not. So when you say Christianity, first of all, when you say Christian, there can be Christians who don't follow the word of God. That's irrelevant.
Listen to the question I'm asking. Are Catholics Christians?
Yes, they're a subset of Christians.
Okay. All right. Is Catholicism a part of Christianity?
It's a denomination of Christianity.
Okay. So when I speak to you, mention the Protestants, that's another denomination of Christianity, correct?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that they follow Christianity completely.
Protestants
to the
don't.
fullest extent.
Do Catholics follow it completely?
I don't know. I'm not Catholic.
Well, you said about Protestant. You said you're not a Protestant either. But
yeah, because I'm sure about Protestantism.
Okay, but you're not sure about Catholicism. But so is it fair to say that only you follow it correctly? Who follows it correctly?
It would be either Catholics or Orthodox.
Okay, so let's go with Catholics. Okay, so if they're in the running and they came and picked up the black people and they follow Christianity correctly, then is that Christianity a weapon against black people?
That doesn't mean they followed it correctly. A pope can be wrong about something.
Okay, what was he wrong about in slavery?
Yeah, he could be wrong about that.
No, I'm asking what was he wrong about?
What would be wrong about it? Saying people are animals. They weren't animals.
He didn't call them animals. He never called them animals. The Pope never called
Well, what did it
Africans.
say? Because if you read the Doctrine of Discovery, it'll say that there's certain people who
They're savages.
aren't actually people; they're animals.
No, they're savages. They don't have a belief system. They're not saved.
Yeah,
They're not
it's the
Christian.
same as animals.
No.
What does
They're
that have
not
to do with
saved.
anything?
No. They're just savages. They're uncivilized, right? He didn't call them animals. They just called them savages. Okay. And he said that because they were savages, that the church had the right to Christianize them.
What does that have to do with anything? You could be wrong about that. If I say he's wrong, that's
Well,
irrelevant.
what makes him wrong is what I'm asking.
Because the original Christianity was against that.
When?
You can't enslave people just because of their race or because you
When?
think they're savages.
When? Show me what the original Christians was against that.
Well, you could read Clement of Rome. You can also read Philemon. So Christians were actually selling themselves into slavery in order to free other people.
Well, that means they weren't against slavery. They was becoming slaves. So when were they against slavery?
Okay, so they can't overrule something if they're not the ruling government of that nation.
I'm
So they
saying,
did
show
everything
me-
that they could in
Jordan,
order to
Jordan,
rescue
this was-
slaves. So
that's
it's
not what I'm
irrelevant.
saying.
It's not even the
No,
same.
this is
type
very
of
relevant.
slavery.
Show me where the original Christian, you know who the original Christian was? Jesus, right? He followed himself. Was
Jesus
he-
also had apostles, which
Fair enough,
people
but
followed
listen to the question I'm asking, Jordan. Was Jesus against slavery?
against the type of slavery that we see that in the United States. Yeah,
Can you show me that from me?
I don't have to show you that. I can show
Well,
you
how would
based
you-
off of the teachings of the church.
I'm
So
talking about
most
Jesus'
Christians
teaching.
don't go
Jesus'
just off of the
teaching.
Bible
Jesus is
alone.
teaching. Jesus is teaching. Just Jesus. What?
Yeah,
'cause
Jesus told
never
us
heard
to
of church
follow
fathers.
his apostles.
Okay, but I'm talking about Jesus, not what his apostles taught. We're talking about the original Christians, right? Did Jesus ever hear a church
Okay,
father?
that's part of the original
Handsome,
Christianity.
listen to what I'm asking you. Did Jesus ever hear a church father teach?
Yes, he's God. He hears
Okay,
everything.
so when Jesus was here, Clement of Rome was teaching.
Jesus is always here. Like
When
in
Jesus
our
was
belief,
on the
Jesus is
planet as a
God.
man, Jordan, come on, man. When Jesus was on the planet
Jesus
as a man,
is omnipresent.
fair, but when he was
guides
on the
the
planet as a
church.
human being, did he hear Clement of Rome speak?
He taught the person that taught Clement.
That was after the fact. Okay, so that means he didn't hear Clement, right? He wasn't. By the time
He
Clement-
heard Clement. I mean,
He
he's
could have,
God.
not when he was on the planet, not when he was as a physical man on the planet.
I mean, brother, you got to understand. If you're saying Christianity, most Christians in
Bro,
the
listen
world
to what I'm
believe that
asking
you
you.
have
Stop
to
doing
follow
that.
the
Stop doing that. Stop
apostles.
doing that.
Like,
Stop doing that. Stop doing
I
that.
think this
When
is
Jesus
what-
was
it's
on
It's
the
just a
planet,
basic
here.
fact of the
in
religion.
the year AD 30, was Clement here?
I think he was born.
The answer is
then.
no.
I'm not sure.
The answer is no. Okay. In the year AD 30, Clement of Rome was not here, right? When Jesus was teaching, he had never heard Clement of Rome. You might hear him later, fair enough. But when Jesus was teaching to his original disciples, his original apostles, he was not teaching what Clement of Rome taught.
Yes, he was.
He was not.
Yes, he was. He literally
was not.
said, follow one. He said,
said,
follow his
the apostles. That
apostles.
means that the apostles
His
must be something
apostles
different.
literally said everything that's written in
That's
this,
not
in this
true.
book
That's not
isn't
true.
all of his teaching. So
That's
you
not
have
true.
to follow
That's-
what the
that's
people
not
who
true.
are established.
That's plain old not true.
That is
That's plain old not
that is
true.
very true.
That's
It's in
very
Acts.
not true. That's
It's
very
in the
not
book
true.
of Acts.
There is nothing. First and foremost, the man who wrote the book of Acts wasn't even an apostle.
What was his name?
His name was Luke,
Okay, Luke is a follower of who?
a follower of Paul.
And Paul was there, and also Peter
Paul
was
was
there.
not
He
there.
wrote down.
Paul never met Jesus.
He wrote down.
Paul
Okay,
was
one.
never- Paul was
in
not
the
there.
book of
Paul was
Acts.
not there.
In the book of Acts.
It tells you that Paul wasn't
If
there.
you read, who
It
was
says
the
that Paul
one?
wasn't there.
If you
It tells-
read, who was
it
the
tells you
one that
Paul
was
wasn't
speaking?
there. It says
Hello.
that Paul wasn't there. Paul was not there. Paul never met Jesus in person. Paul had a
Luke
revelation
met
after he
Peter.
died.
Luke met all the apostles. Luke
Luke
wrote
said he
down.
met Peter. Luke said he met Peter. That's not here nor there. Listen to what I'm saying.
That is.
That's Luke said he met them. They never said they met Luke.
Brother,
Not
we
one of them
have
said, "I
church
know Luke."
history of all these people knowing each other.
Bro,
like you haven't studied that.
I'm saying Peter never said, I know Luke.
Peter
James
taught
never said,
Clement
"I
of
know
Rome.
Luke."
Peter was literally there with Paul. Luke was
That's what
Paul's
Luke
physician.
said. That's what Luke said. Peter never said that.
Do you understand that these people started churches and they knew
Yes.
each other?
Yes.
Okay, so how
we
in the
don't
world
know
are you
that they
saying
knew
that's-
each other. We don't know that they knew
We
each other.
do know that they
We
knew
do
each
not
other. You
know
can
that.
literally look in the church history.
Somebody said that. Peter didn't say it.
Wow,
John
somebody
didn't
said
say
they
it.
knew somebody. Wow, that yeah,
I can say
exactly.
that I know you. That don't mean it's true, does it?
Do you not know me?
I don't know you.
Oh, okay, but you're talking to me.
I don't know.
Now, you never heard of me, never none of this, brother. We're just you're just what you're trying to do.
Oh no, did that hurt your ego or something?
This parasocial stuff is
Oh my
crazy.
god,
It has
it
nothing to
fucking
do with
hurt his
ego.
ego.
You don't know me
Don't have
either.
ego.
You don't know me.
So the point
Then why are you
is,
surprised he doesn't know you?
because there's different senses of the word know. I
I'm
can know
saying-
Christina because I saw her on Slim's Live. That doesn't mean I know her
You
personally.
don't know her.
guys
Right, okay.
You don't know
If you
her.
walked away and said that you knew Christine, if you right, Christina might go, I don't know who the fuck that
It
that is.
depends in what context. That's the
Okay,
point.
so in what context does Luke know Peter?
He knows Peter because he knew the rest of the apostles and
When
he knew the
did
people
you
that the
when did-
apostles
oh,
followed.
wait,
know
show me
Peter
one place
in the
where Luke
Bible.
said he knew an apostle.
You can read it in the
Read it to me.
church
Read it to me.
history.
No, not in the church history. Show me where Luke said,
okay,
I
that's your
know
problem.
Peter.
Everything is not written in the Bible. Christians don't even
The church
believe that.
histories
Most
are
Christians
written
don't believe that.
300 years later. 300
No, they're
years later.
not.
They are.
No, they're not.
Show me
That's
anything
historically
that
inaccurate.
Handsome, that's not true. Show me one place where Clement, anybody in the first 2 centuries said that Luke knew Peter.
Brother, you can go to
No. You showed.
of
You said
against
it's
heresies.
that wouldn't be against heresies. Get out of here. You've never read against heresies.
Oh my
There
gosh,
is nothing in against heresies that says that Luke knew Peter.
brother.
Read
We
it to
know
me.
all the places that these people were.
Handsome, I know that.
All the
Listen to-
places
I
where they
asked,
wrote
did
it.
Luke know Peter? One thing alone. Did Luke know Peter?
Luke knew all the
Read it to me out
apostles.
of against heresies then.
Luke knew all the apostles.
Show it to me. Show it to me. Show it to me.
And what does this have to do with anything that I'm
Because
saying?
this is
Because we're
sort of
far
talking about
off
what the
topic
original
now.
Christianity was. This is why all this is
The
related.
original Christianity,
No.
which the
Stop,
churches
stop,
of these
stop, Jordan.
people
Stop, Jordan.
started.
Stop, Jordan. You made a claim. Back it up. Luke knew Peter. Read it to me.
If we go to the book of Against Heresies, which is, again, off topic, because you don't want to talk about the actual topic.
I'm on the topic. I promise you this on topic.
It's not.
The host are really
You
upset
brought
about
up
how
the
this is
original
going.
Christianity, handsome. I didn't even bring this shit up. You brought this up. Now I'm off topic.
No, your financiers stopped contributing. What's happening? Your sugar daddies aren't dropping coins on you. What happened?
There we go.
You want to see some ass?
Oh, stop that.
Keep them dollars, dummy. And he gonna make me clap.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
Like that.
I ain't even walked away yet. Oh, like that's the crazy part.
That's why I could do it.
Jeez.
I can only cut up while you're here.
All right, really quiet. What y'all doing?
He's finding where Luke.
Oh, well, Luke met the apostles.
I'm just going to remind everybody that this is in pursuit of what is true Christianity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
No. We'll take your time, bro. Take your time.
quite irrelevant.
No, take your time. Just show me in Against Heresies. This is what we want to know. In Against Heresies, we want to read that Luke knew Peter.
W. Jamie.
Luke didn't even claim to know Peter.
Yeah, don't ask AI.
I think it's gonna be in chapter. I think it's in book 3.
Okay, all right. Read it to me.
Hold on, I gotta scroll. Chapter, hold on.
Luke didn't even know his father. I watched Star Wars.
Matthew also. No, that's kind of funny, but Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching at Rome and laying the foundations of the church. After their departure, Mark the disciple and the interpreter Peter did also hand down to us in writing what had been preached by Peter. Luke, also the companion of Paul, recorded in the book the gospel preached by him. Afterwards, John the disciple of the Lord, who also had leaned upon his breast, and did himself publish the gospel during his residence at Ephesus in Asia.
Did you read anything in there that said that Luke knew Peter?
So who was Paul preaching with in Rome?
That's not what I asked you. I'd ask you a
It's a simple question. We can use common sense here.
I asked who. I asked
Who
did Luke
was Paul
know
teaching
Peter?
with?
I asked, did
Paul
Luke
was teaching
know
with his
Peter?
friend Peter in
Yes,
Rome.
I asked you, did Luke know
And
Peter?
if Luke is his scribe and his
I asked you, did
physician
Luke know
and writing
Peter?
down, oh my
I asked you,
goodness,
did Luke know
is
Peter?
common sense.
That's not,
They
you
were
said you were
all
going to read it to me.
together.
It shouldn't be common sense
It
if you were
was
supposed
all
to read
together.
it to
You're
me.
looking for an exact word fallacy
Bro,
when we literally
Luke
see that
never
these two
claimed to
people
know Peter.
were in the
Peter never
same
claimed
place
to know
together.
Luke. Bro,
So,
Luke never, well, hear what I'm saying.
as we can
Luke,
see,
listen what I'm saying, bro. Luke never claimed to know Peter. Peter never
as
claimed
we
to know.
can see,
Bro, let me finish the sentence. Luke never claimed to know Peter. Peter never claimed to know Luke. The book Against Heresy was written 160 years post the fact. At least 100. Between 100 and 160 years post the fact. Okay, this is what they said about it. But neither of those men ever claimed to know one another. Neither of them. So someone said they knew each other.
you're just
Okay.
using an argument from silence.
This is not an argument from silence. This is I'm
It
telling
is
you what they
fallacious.
said. You're making an argument from silence. You're saying they didn't
I'm
say it, so
not.
I'm going to infer it.
If I'm providing positive
What
proof
you
of a
just said is
claim,
not a nothing. I asked you, did
that
Luke
is
know
positive
Peter?
proof of a
That is
claim.
not positive proof.
How is that not positive proof when you
Paul knew
already
Peter,
admitted?
maybe. You saying Paul
Hold
knew
on.
Peter.
You already admitted that Luke was a physician of Paul
I did not
and
say
a
anything about
scribe
Luke
of
being a
Paul.
physician. I didn't mention Luke
Oh
being
my.
a physician.
I said it and you agreed to it.
You
you
didn't say
not?
the word physician. This is your first time saying physician. You said scribe.
That's the first time? Okay,
That's the
you're
first.
not
You said
following the
scribe. Okay, so
conversation.
I'm with you on scribe.
Well, if he's the scribe of Paul and scribes go with you,
They don't always go with
when
you. They don't always go with you. As a matter of fact, if you read the book of Luke and Acts, Luke is telling you at the very beginning. I didn't see this myself. I'm just telling you stories that I heard. I'm collecting stories and putting them in order.
That is not that first. That's not
Luke chapter 1, verse 1. Let's read it.
That's Luke, the eyewitness.
Luke
That he got it
that's
from
all
one
one
of the
book.
apostles. You're proving
Luke
the
Acts
point.
is all one book. Okay. Luke chapter 1, verse 1. What does it say?
Luke
Chapter 1,
got
verse
it
1.
from eyewitnesses,
No, that's not true.
i.e. the
Read what he said.
apostles.
Read what the man said. What did he say? Luke
So he
chapter 1,
didn't
verse
say
1.
he got it from
Luke
eyewitnesses?
chapter 1, verse 1.
Since many have undertaken to compile a narrative about the events that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed on to us by those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and servants of the word, I too decided, as one having a grasp of everything from the start, to write a well-ordered account for you, the most excellent Theophilus.
Okay, so he
continue
put
reading.
stuff in order the way he heard it. The way he heard it. Just like
Who did
other
he
folks
get
put
it from?
He don't say from many.
He
That's
got
what he
it
said.
from eyewitnesses.
Yeah, many eyewitnesses.
And those eyewitnesses are the apostles. You're
Hear what I'm
proving
saying. Hear what
the
I'm
point.
saying. No, that's not true. Other folks saw Jesus other than just apostles.
Brother.
He didn't say he got it from the apostles. That's
The
not
reason,
what he said.
okay, first of all, the reason why when you read Acts, when you read the book of Acts,
Did he say he got it from the apostles?
when you read the book
Did
of
he say he got it
Acts,
from the apostles, bro?
I'm trying to answer.
No. This is a yes or no question.
When you
Did he
read the
say-
book of
did-
Acts,
that's not the answer to
and
the
when
question.
you read the book
That's
of
not the answer to the
Hebrews,
question. Jordan, did he say he got it from the apostles?
brother, you're just trying to find
This is a yes or
exact
no
words
question. This is a yes or
everywhere,
no
and I'm
question.
showing
This is a
you
yes or no
basic
question.
logical
Did he say he
proofs
got it
that
from
he
the
knew
apostles,
these
Jordan?
individuals.
Jordan, did he say he got it from
We're
the apostles?
so far off topic.
We are not off topic. We're talking about the original Christians. We're still on topic, Jordan. And you brought this shit up. You brought this shit up.
What do you
I
want
was
me?
talking
What do you
about
want me to
slavery.
say, bro?
You took it to this fuck shit. You
Bro,
took it
because
here.
I told you a pope can be wrong and you're mad. I don't know
But
what
Jesus
you're mad
wasn't
about.
against slavery. He was the original Christian. Then you jumped to the church fathers, right? You brought us here, not me.
Can you prove
brought us
that
here.
Jesus wasn't against chattel
Jesus was not against
slavery?
slavery. He was not against chattel slavery.
He wasn't?
He was not.
You got proof of that?
Yes, I do. You want to read it?
Okay, show me. Yeah.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second, okay?
While he looking that up, y'all make sure y'all tapping the screen, sharing the live, contribute to the gift goal. Y'all know what it is.
Just out of curiosity, you said a pope that declares slavery okay, he can be wrong, right?
That's from my opinion, yeah.
All right.
I'm not a Catholic.
Could abolitionists, Christians, be wrong?
Yes, everybody can be wrong.
All right, cool. So it hasn't told us, and so I don't know what. I'm gonna let y'all rock, but I still don't know what true Christians are.
Well, it would just be what the early church believed from the apostles and the church fathers.
1v8 is crazy because he's only been talking to Bash.
Yeah, Jay is a real dumb dipshit.
I can see
Oh,
that.
I thought that
Alright.
voice sounded familiar. That's Sebastian. I ain't talked to him in a minute.
Verse 8. Start at verse 8.
Luke 17, verse 8.
Start at verse 8.
All right. Let me pull it up.
You want to start with 7?
No, we started 7. Fine. 17, 7 fine.
Yeah. Who among you would say to your slave who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field, "Come here at once and take your place at the table"? Would you rather not say to him, "Prepare supper for me, put on your apron and serve me while I eat and drink. Later you may eat and drink"? Do you thank the slave for doing what was commanded? So you also, when you have done all that you were ordered to do, say, "We are worthless slaves. We have done only what we ought to have done."
Okay. So not only does he know that they have slaves, he's not telling them to get rid of their slaves, and he's telling them to treat them as slaves. Make them feed you first, and then you do the same thing in the kingdom.
Yeah, where does that say that he's not?
Read it again. Read it again. You start at verse 7.
So
read it yourself. Read it yourself. Read it out
let me
loud.
show you why it's not against. One,
It's not against. I'm with
Jesus-
you.
It's not against. You're
hold
right.
on.
It's right. You're right. It's
Hold
not
on.
against slavery.
It's not against or for. He's not.
It's
proving
very
anything.
for. It's
No,
very
it's not.
for. But keep in mind, I didn't say he was for slavery. What I said is he isn't against it. You asked me, do I have proof that he isn't?
That doesn't mean that he's not.
He isn't against it. He's talking to people who he
That
knows
doesn't
have
mean that
slaves.
he's not against. Just because
He's
something
talking
is
to people
happening
who he knows had slaves. He doesn't tell them to get rid of them.
in Christianity.
What did
you were
Jesus
allowed-
say, bro? What did Jesus say, bro?
Can I
What did
answer
Jesus say?
something?
Bro, what did Jesus say? What did Jesus say?
In Judaism,
In
you were
Jesus-
allowed
in
divorce,
Jesus- in
even
Jesus-
though
in Jesus-
Jesus
in
did
Jesus.
not want to have
In Jesus,
divorce.
what did Jesus say right? What did Jesus just say right here, bro? What did Jesus say? What did Jesus say?
He says I'm for slavery here.
What did he say? No, what did he say?
I must have missed
No,
it.
answer what he said, bro. What did he say?
And which of you having a servant plowing or tending sheep? He just says they have servants.
Okay.
We'll
And that
say
word,
to him
what's
when
the
he
word
is
though?
coming to
What's the word
field,
though? What's the word though?
Come at once.
What that word servant? What's that word?
So Jesus
No.
What's
What's the word?
historical
What's the word
fact
right
that
there? What's the
people
word?
have
What's the word
slaves
servant
is
right
all
there?
of a
What's the
sudden
word servant right
him
there?
being
George,
for chattel.
what's the word servant right there? What's the Greek word though? Doulos, right? What does that word mean? Slave. Okay, so let's say it properly. Which of you having a slave? So what does he know about them?
It could
That they have
just mean
slaves.
servant, brother.
Doulos means slave.
Brother,
That's a completely different word for
context,
like a hired hand or
ancient-
servant. Completely different word for a hired hand.
It's gonna be the same.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You can right now. You can go look up the word servant in Greek. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, so doulos is one of the Greek words. It could also have to do with like veneration or a type of worship. So it has a multitude of different meanings. This isn't going to prove anything that Jesus all of a sudden supported the. I don't know. Can we say
that I wanted to make sure that you knew what the word was that you knew that the word was slave, not just servant. That's a completely different word for the word servant. Right? This is where doulos means slave. This slave.
Yeah, the word-
What's the other word for servant?
The word
give
is
me one second.
pais.
Pais?
Yeah, that means servant.
What type of servant?
What?
What type of servant?
How many types of
One that's
servants
in
are there?
service. I don't know what do you mean.
Well,
type.
the same way that even in the Old Testament, you can call
How many
a slave
types
a
of servants
servant.
are
It's the
there?
same word.
No, how many
It just
types of
depends on the
servants are there?
context. Well, there's an indentured servant. There's what you guys would call a slave, or what I would call a super slave from like past tense.
A slave
back in
is
the-
a
Super
servant?
slave.
Yeah,
Diakonos,
because in the
pais,
transatlantic slave trade, we had something that was completely different.
No, we
It
didn't.
wasn't-
Slave is a
We
servant?
did.
That's crazy.
But diakonos is a servant. Pais is a servant. These are all hired hands or indentured servants. Okay. Well, the word doulos is a slave, just like you know it to be a slave.
It can be a slave or a servant, but either way, this doesn't prove your point.
What's my
One,
Tell me what my point is. What's my point?
You were trying to say that
Jesus was not
Jesus,
against slavery. That was my point.
Jesus is not against
Okay.
slavery.
So he's talking to people
Where are
who
you
he
getting
knows
that from?
has doulosis. He knows. Did he tell them to get rid of them? Did he say, I don't like that?
Just because he didn't tell him to get rid
He
of it
literally said-
doesn't mean that he's not against
No.
it.
He literally said, you should do the same for me. The way you treat your slaves is how I'm going to treat you. He's pro that. When you finish doing all that I command you to do, I'm not going to thank you because you are a
So
worthless
if-
slave.
So if you subjugate your slaves and you do wickedly towards,
I didn't talk about doing
you
wicked.
put them
I
in a
didn't say
state
nothing
of
about wickedly.
destitute,
I didn't say nothing about wicked.
then by definition, Jesus is going to put you in subjugation and
This is a weird pivot.
I didn't say nothing about wickedly. I said slaves. I didn't say nothing about their wickedness.
Brother, In the context that you're
I talked
using,
about
this has
slave. I didn't say nothing about being evil. I didn't say nothing about being wicked. I didn't say nothing about being wicked.
Talking about
First of all, in this
institution.
I'm talking about slavery.
Okay, that's why I've been asking you. Chattel slavery.
Chattel slavery just means that they're
specifically.
property. These people are property. Chattel just means property. That's all it means. It don't mean
Like
nice
I
or
was
mean.
saying, in the context of which he's
Chattel
speaking,
just in the context. Chattel just means property. That's all it means. It just means property.
in the context,
chattel
of
means
these
property.
people, I'm talking about in this verse that you're
In
talking
this
about.
context, in this particular verse,
Brother,
in this
not
particular
gonna
verse, it
finish
just
with
means slave, bro. It just means slave. That's all. It just means slave.
Yeah, it means servant. So,
Okay.
I was saying,
But it's
the
a servant.
context
It's a
of
servant that you could. It's a servant that you can make subject to yourself, right? But the word is doulos. It's not. It's not
Brother,
diakonos. It's not diakonos.
If you have
It's
a
not
loan,
pipes.
you are subject to the bank, brother.
I am
So,
not
like,
subject to the bank. I can default and say fuck them and leave.
And then what happens to you?
I can just
you
leave.
still
I
subject.
can file
brother.
bankruptcy
You still
and get the
have
fuck
to
off of
pay.
it.
It's
I can
still
file
gonna mess
bankruptcy.
you up.
It's not gonna mess me up.
I can run away if I'm a slave. Like
No,
brother,
bro. You can file bankruptcy and
we
get your
can
shit right
use
back together,
common
bro. You're
sense
not a
here.
slave to anybody. You're not a slave.
Just because he's yelling
This
doesn't
man
make
just
him
wants to
right.
be free so bad. Good
Just
gracious.
stay on mute, Bish.
Bro, I am free. I'm not a slave to any bank. I can burn all this shit down.
If you owe people money, you owe
I'm not a
loans, you
slave,
have a
bro.
car note,
No,
you're
I'm not, bro.
under
First of all,
subjugation to whoever you own.
I can
to.
turn
You
that
have to
bitch
pay
back
that.
in. I can turn it back in. I'm not a subject to them. I can give them
Brother,
back.
you gotta pay your debt.
I do not have to, bro.
Like,
I
your
can file
credit score
bankruptcy.
is gonna suffer.
What do you
Something's
think
going
Chapter
to
11
suffer.
is, bro? What do you think Chapter 11 is?
Brother, bankruptcy, that's what you want to go to? Why in the world do you have to file that? Because you're subjugated to somebody.
Because I'm not, I have options. I'm not subject to anyone.
I have options. I have options, but I'm
Slaves
still
don't.
subjugated.
That's not, bro. You want
Hang
to
on
be
real
so
quick.
bad.
Hang on a second. Bishop, you keep battling that mute button. I'm just going to drop you. It's not your turn to talk. Stay on mute or get the fuck off.
Myself.
Good.
You ain't got to. I got you.
Okay, all right. You went into that willingly, and you can get out of it willingly. You can get out of it willingly.
At what cost, brother?
Everything got a cost. Nothing's free.
Oh, wow.
I can't even get
So
a hamburger
my
for
point
free.
is,
I don't make me a slave because I bought a
these
hamburger.
people who were
but you have to pay for
subjugated,
it.
Right.
I'm not a slave because I buy a hamburger.
these people who were subjugated at this time, they could have been doctors, lawyers, anybody. They just owe people money.
That's not true.
Literally the context of Roman
That's
That's not
slavery.
Are
true.
you
That's not
talking
true.
It's
about?
not.
There was more than one kind of slavery in early Christianity. More than one kind. And you are right. There are some people who sold themselves into slavery. That's very true. Those are diakonos. That's why I wanted you to look up the word doulos. That's why I wanted you to look the word up.
Brother, I know the word doulos, brother.
Doulos are not the
Multiple
kind that
meanings
sell
still,
themselves into slavery. That's not the same word.
brother.
It's not the same word. It's just
You
not.
can still be a doulos and still owe people money.
No, you cannot.
My question is, where
No,
in the
that's not-
world?
That's a diakonos. That's a completely different kind of servant. Okay, and
Doulos cannot have a doulos doesn't have a debt to repay.
a diakonos does, a pais does, a doulos doesn't have that. Okay, having said that, it don't matter. The point is, these are slaves, and Jesus knew they had them, and he didn't say one word against it. And as a matter of fact, he said, pattern yourselves like that.
What,
You
to
are
treat
just as
others?
worthless as your slaves.
Okay, so the reason, like, I don't know if you guys understand, like, the reason that God doesn't just abolish.
I didn't ask why he didn't abolish it. That's not what we talked about. So now you admit that he didn't abolish it, but that's not the point.
Nobody says he didn't, brother.
Okay, all right. So, but I wouldn't ask you about if he
Nobody
was
even
abolish it
said
or not.
that.
That's not the point. That's not the point. My point that I was making is that Jesus was not anti-slavery. That was the point I made.
I
And he
said
wasn't.
specifically the type of slavery that happened in the
Doulos, that kind of
transatlantic
slavery. That's the
slave.
kind that happened in America. It's doulos slavery. Same kind of slavery.
Brother, they were kidnapping people, brother. They was chopping limbs off.
Ain't
brother.
that
Yeah,
I don't know if
Deuteronomy
I can
20.
say the actual word. I don't know.
Deuteronomy
I'm trying to get
20.
the lie flat because it said folks was already
Deuteronomy
flat.
20 is kidnapping.
Right. But I'm talking about the system of slavery. How you got the slaves, how you treated the slaves, is your business. That's your business. Chattel slavery just means that a person is property. That's what the word chattel means. There was chattel slavery in the Bible. There was chattel slavery in America. Am I saying that the people in America were mean? Yes, they were mean. Are we saying that everybody in the Bible was nice? No, I'm not saying that either. There was some mean slave owners in the Bible. But that's not the point. The point is, was he against slavery? Not was he against mistreatment?
Brother, nobody's against every form of slavery. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I am against every form of slavery.
You can't
Oh,
be.
so if somebody attacks a child
What
throws
the
them in the
hell?
dumpster. Should they go to prison?
No,
They shouldn't.
no, I'd probably just kill them. I'm on that type of time.
This-
I'm on that type of time.
Well, since you don't approve any form of slavery, we gotta
W-
release everybody from
Bash.
prison.
That's your business. I don't get to set the laws.
It's cool. Hey,
If they
I
let me
get it.
vote-
He
if
has
they
to.
let
He
me
has
vote,
to
that's
go
how
to
I'm gonna
these
vote. That's right.
extremes.
That's right. If they let
He
me
has
vote,
to-
I don't like slavery. I don't like slavery.
Wait, time out. Hold on. Did you just say he has to
That's
go to these
extreme.
extremes? Is that what you said?
Yes, he's finding loopholes in
Hold on.
everybody knows
I wanna make sure.
What?
Hold on, Jordan, hold on. Because I'm about to have some spaghetti and meatballs, and I want to make sure that, and I had a bite already. I want to make sure they're not laced. My doulos isn't here to taste test it for me. Did you say, what if a person takes a child and chops them up and dumps them in the dumpster? Was that you, or
throws them in a dumpster?
throws them in the dumpster? Okay, that's not extreme.
I never said that wasn't extreme. I'm saying,
Okay, so wait,
when
who's
I
going
give
to,
an analogy,
just to be clear, who's going to extremes?
I'm saying when
Well,
he
look, I'm saying nothing. Just answer my question. When you said Bash has to go to extremes, was the example you gave him an extreme? Yes or no?
That's not what I meant, which is why I was explaining loopholes. He has to find these loopholes.
When
to
you
get out of
said
the
that
question.
I stand on what I said. Tim.
Yeah.
No, brother, y'all,
I
it's
stand-
like y'all
I-
can't understand what basic people are
I
saying.
stand behind exactly what Bash said, no pause. But listen, my question to you is, you gave him an example. He said, I don't believe that people should be slaves. And you said, what if somebody unalives a child and throws them in a dumpster? Is that
unalive?
okay? Whatever you said, is that an extreme example or not?
I don't even know what is extreme, brother. People do crazy stuff
Nigga,
every
you
day.
said
You think throwing a
the
child
thing
in a
you
dumpster
said.
is
Do you
not
consider that
either?
extreme? Now you don't know what extreme
people
is.
do things
all right, I'm gonna
all
go
the
back on
time.
you. No, we
If
got
people-
it. You don't know what extreme is when it's your example. It's only one. Okay, I got you. Back on
Okay,
you.
so the point I was trying to prove was not that he was wrong in saying that he should unalive that person. Look, I already know Sebastian doesn't play like that. That's irrelevant. That's not what I'm saying is extreme. I'm saying he has to find these loopholes to go through in order not to answer the question.
No.
The
I
point
know.
of- the point I'm
You asked me,
saying-
do I agree with any kind of slavery? My answer to that question was no. You gave me an
Okay.
example, and I said no. Do not make them a slave.
Okay.
Kill them.
By definition, everybody in prison
That's in
should
prison
be
is a
let
slave,
free.
and I disagree with that. I disagree with
Okay,
that.
so you think everybody should be let out of prison?
Yes, if they let me vote, I would vote for that.
Okay, that's on you then. I
Okay,
personally
but now
think
that I
some of
didn't
them
take a
just need to
loophole-
be locked up. That's
Okay, that's how you feel. I disagree. That's fine. Okay, but that's not the point. You said that everybody agrees with some form of slavery. I'm telling you, I do not.
Like I said, that's the extreme I'm talking
That's
about.
not an extreme. We just
I would vote
disagree
for
about
people not to
prison.
be in
That's not
prison.
an
That's
extreme.
I guess
It's not an
it's
extreme. We just disagree about prison.
It's not extreme for you.
That's not an extreme.
Yeah, if you say so.
Prisons haven't always existed. Prisons haven't always existed.
Dang, they've existed for thousands of years.
Why
No, not even quite 1,000 years, bro. The first prisons came out like the 1300s.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Tyrese,
Brother,
we're gonna
Paul
get to
was
you
in
shortly,
prison.
man. But not yet.
Okay.
Joseph was in prison. Like, what are you talking about?
There was no record of any prison in Egypt. They made that story up.
Oh my goodness.
There was no record of any prison in Egypt.
No, I guess there was no Roman prisons 2,000 years ago either. Huh?
No, there wasn't.
So where'd they put all the people before they crucified them?
But they
All
had
the
holding cells,
gladiators.
but not prisons.
Oh, holding cells. That's what we're calling it now. Okay.
Yeah, but they weren't serving off some debt to the state. They weren't slaves to the state. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, all right. So prisons as we know them now are a relatively new invention, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, I disagree with them, and I have that right to disagree with them. That's not the point. So now you're saying, oh, well, everybody's a slave. So even if Jesus was okay with slavery, so you still dance around the point. Jesus was not anti-slavery. That's the point. That's the point. And you're not anti-slavery either. And that's okay, because you okay with some kinds of slavery. And so was Jesus.
Okay.
That was my point.
Now, where's the issue with this?
I didn't have an issue. I just said that
Then what
Jesus
is we
was
talking
anti-slavery.
about this for?
Because you said that the original Christians were against slavery.
Brother,
You
I said
said
the
that.
specific type, because usually when
This time,
somebody's...
these people were not prisoners. Douloses are not prisoners.
Oh my goodness. So Now all of a sudden, when we talking about slavery, it ain't talking about the slavery that was in the 1400s.
We're talking
You was
about
already bringing up the doctrine of discovery. So all of a sudden, we
moved the
just not
prisoners.
talking
I
about
kept
that
saying
anymore.
these are chattel slaves, the same kind that we had in America. Chattel. I keep saying that. You keep dancing around that, not me.
You keep changing your point.
I did not change that.
What do you want me to
Your line,
address?
Jordan, I said that these are doulos. These are not diakonos. I kept saying these are
What's
chattel
the
slaves.
change?
I did not change it. I did not. I'm going to say it again. These are doulos. These are chattel slaves. Property of another person.
What do you think the change was, Jordan?
He just said that we wasn't talking about those types of slaves.
I wasn't talking about prisoners. You started talking about prisoners, not me.
Not the brother. The first thing you brought up was the doctrine of discovery, which would lead me to believe what? That we were talking about the slavery,
those people
which
were
was
slaves.
in the United
That's the
States.
kind I'm talking
correct?
about. This is what doulos are.
It's a type of slavery, chattel slavery.
They were chattel
There was
slaves,
a
just like a doulos
specific
is.
type of chattel slavery that was in the United States.
No, it wasn't.
Correct?
It's just chattel slavery. It's just people being property. Chattel is just people being property.
You're just using the name. There is a context behind
No, I'm not.
these.
What is the
I
difference? The
specifically
abuse?
said I'm not talking about if they were nice or mean. I'm not talking about if they beat them or didn't beat them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the institution of slavery. I said that specifically.
Brother, there's
I mean,
types of
look,
slavery that wouldn't be approved
two
by
types of slavery.
anybody.
Name two types of chattel slaves.
Two types of chattel slaves.
You
You're just
said the
using
type
the
of
word
slavery.
chattel as property.
Okay, so then what's the other kind of chattel slavery?
The type where you're just literally kidnapping folks. Or
You still property.
kidnapping.
You still how you got to be a chattel slave? is
You're
different.
still property, but
Yeah,
it's
okay,
a
you're still
different type.
property.
It's a
Name
different
two
way. You're
types of
not
chattel
indentured
slavery.
anymore.
Then name two types of chattel slavery.
You never are indentured. If you're a chattel slave, you don't owe a debt.
Brother, you can be indentured.
Indentured is not
Chattel
chattel.
slave does not
Indentured
owe
is
a
not chattel.
debt. There's no way out.
If you owe somebody,
Indentured is not
You
chattel.
can't-
It's not chattel. Name two types of chattel slavery.
brother, you can literally become that from indentured servitude.
That means you're no longer indentured. Now you're chattel. I asked you to name two kinds of chattel slavery.
This might be going back a few steps, but do you know what chattel means?
It just means property. That's literally the definition.
It's movable property, right? It can be
Well,
ownership can be transferred.
Technically speaking, yes.
Yeah, meaning ownership is held by someone else and can be transferred to someone else. It is not the slave does not have autonomy. They are owned.
That's
they
where
are
you're.
owned,
That's
and their ownership is passed around.
That's what I'm talking about. You're saying they don't have autonomy. Do they have any sort of rights? Like, what are we
They have
speaking
rights.
as here? Okay, there can
Yeah, I
be a
mean,
chattel
even
slavery
in
where
the, even
people
in the
have
South,
rights.
even in the transatlantic slave trade in the South, there were laws about how severely you could beat your slaves. There were laws on the books about if you killed a slave.
You could have different types. You could have
What
one
name the
where
two
people
types?
have,
What are these types?
when I say types, I mean there's different subgroups in these types.
Then name a
When
subgroup.
you don't have liberties, you're not autonomous. There's ones where you have rights.
What
ones
type
where-
of chattel slavery has autonomy for the slave?
Brother, autonomy just means you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Name a chattel slave that can do that.
I don't think that's the case.
Okay. So then you just make some up.
So there's one where you have rights. There's ones where you don't have rights.
Give me an example of a chattel slave that has some kind of rights or autonomy.
But they have some type of rights?
Or autonomy specifically.
There's forms in the Bible where you have some sort of rights.
Are they chattel? Are they chattel? Are they chattel?
Yes.
Okay. Can we read that?
What is
Brother, any sort of, if you literally go to any form of the slavery in the Bible, and what does this have to do with?
any form is not chattel?
Yeah. Not every form of slavery is chattel. I'm
If
talking
it
about chattel
applies to
slavery.
any form, that means it applies to all. So
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
That by definition
every
of
square
the
is a
words.
rectangle. Every rectangle is not a square.
If it applies to
if
one,
it applies to any,
if it
that
applies
means
to
that
one,
it can
you're
apply to
reversing
any one of them,
the
which is all.
relationship. You're reversing the. If it applies to one, that doesn't mean it applies to any.
I
You're
said
inverting it. You're inverting.
If I say something, it can apply to any.
Well, let's
category.
read it. Let's read it and see then.
Does that mean that it
Let's just
can
read it and
apply
see.
to all categories?
Let's just read it and
Simple.
see. Let's just read it and see. Okay. Go ahead and read
Yeah,
it.
Not
but
making
that's
a
the
fallacy.
reversal.
Come on, let's just read it and see. Don't be frustrated just because I want to know what you know.
It's not frustration.
Well, why you give me, oh my God?
Because I'm explaining basic logic. And
Okay, well, I'm okay with
messing
that.
it
I
up.
said, let's just read it and see. I'm accepting your logic. Let's just read it and see.
I said any type. You could just bring up any verse.
I'm talking about chattel slavery. The one specifically to chattel slavery.
Then bring up a verse
you gonna
about
read it?
chattel
It's okay.
slavery.
Go ahead, read it to me. Just take your time. Read it to me. What you got?
I'm pretty sure you know the verses about
Just,
slavery.
no, I
You
want
can
you to
bring
read
up
it to me.
any one.
No, just fine. No, take your time because I'm gonna read it out of context or something. You read it to me.
All right. And what is the point that we're trying to prove here?
Talking about early Christians and slavery.
Okay.
And the fact that Jesus wasn't against chattel slavery. So we're on the point. We're still here.
Hey, sunshine.
How you doing?
Get it?
Okay. Guatemalan goddess.
Christina, can you check your messages real quick?
You can go to Exodus 21, 26.
Okay, let's get that.
Oh, what?
Okay, let's get that. That's okay. Let's read it.
That's hilarious.
I think it's funny too, but we're gonna let him read it to us. What does it say, bro?
If a man strikes the eye of a male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye.
Okay, keep going.
Did you fall asleep or something? What happened?
No, it's just embarrassed that he's doing this.
Of his male and female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth.
Okay, keep going.
Dang, you want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah. So we get good context. We get good context.
If an ox gores a man or woman to death, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and it shall not, its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be acquitted.
Okay.
But if the ox, how much more you want me to go, bro?
No. The reason I wanted you to go into the ox verses is because we're treating people the same way we treat oxes. Let's go back. Let's go back to the verse about the slave. If a man strikes his male or female slave and knocks out their eye, you let him go. If you knock out their tooth, you let them go. Does it say you can't hit them?
Do they have rights?
They don't have a right. What right was there? What right is there? Show me the right.
They have a right not, brother. They have a right not to be abused, brother.
They do not. It says if you knock out an eye, there's a lot of abuse that can happen before you.
That's a limitation. Yeah, you keep the rod strikes below the head, and you're fine.
That's some theological
Or a female
background.
servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. The whole point is you're not supposed
Don't beat him in the head.
That's okay. Yeah. So if I hit him in the back, and I don't break a bone, that's not what that says. Now you're inferring that law says if I knock out a tooth, if I do not knock out a tooth, can they leave? Do I have to let them out? If I do not knock out their teeth.
In the context of these
if I don't knock out his eye, do I have to let him go?
We're just going to read 21.
The whole point is you're not supposed to damage
That's not what it says.
We're going to read 20 and 21.
That's literally what it means.
That's not what it says.
When a slave owner strikes a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, there is no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property.
Okay,
how is the master supposed to be punished?
It's from what I'm told, it's a fine.
It's a fine.
You pay fine. But if
you unalive your slave, you're supposed to be unalived.
No, that's not what it says.
Don't say that anywhere.
But if the slave doesn't die, is there any punishment at all? If a master hits his slave with a rod and the slave doesn't die, is there any punishment for the master?
Oh, this says there is no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property.
Like it's chattel?
Yeah.
It's chattel. Literal chattel slavery.
Yeah, can you read...
No, stay right here. I want to read this. I want you to explain
which verse did you read?
Then we can go somewhere else.
Which verse did you read?
20 through 21 in the same chapter.
And then I just have a quick question when y'all done with that.
Read it out loud so we can all hear. What does it say?
I'm trying to find the part where...
verse 20, 21.
To death.
20. No. Before you get to that part, start right here at 20 and 21. Start there. What does that say?
Yeah. So 21... let me read it then. In the context...
Just read it. What does it say, bro? What does it say?
I'm reading it.
Okay, well, read it out loud.
If a man beats his male and female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished.
Okay.
Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property.
Okay. All right. So if a man
if
beats
we go
a man beat
down-
a slave with a rod, hold on. Let me make sure we understand this. If a man beats his slave with a rod and the slave does not die, what's the punishment for the master?
We just read that.
No, I need you to tell it to me. Make sure we understood it together. What's the punishment for the master if the slave does not die? What's the punishment for the master?
He shall not be punished.
And why isn't he punished?
Because he's property.
Because he's property. So property means what?
Now, my
Wait,
point
wait,
is...
Almost there. If a person is property, they are what kind of slave is this?
I understand this.
No, I just answered the question.
They are chattel. And like we said before...
Slavery, right, okay.
Like we said before...
But this is chattel slavery, that you could beat a slave. You could beat them. Okay. You just couldn't knock out their eye. Okay, fair enough.
Or knock out their tooth. Like I said, the whole point is you're not.
Even then, you're still
allowed
not
to.
punished.
You gotta let them
You
go.
are.
You're not.
That's why I was saying keep going. Keep going down to verse 23, brother.
Let's start at verse 23. Go to 23.
23 is about 3 people.
Read
23 through 25. This
Let's
is
read it.
why.
Let's
This
read
is
it.
what the punishment is.
Okay, let's read it.
But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye.
Wait,
tooth for
why
tooth,
are you starting in the middle of a law?
Start at the beginning of the law. Start at the beginning of the law.
The law starts in 22.
Let's start at 22.
If men fight and hurt a woman with child, so that she gives birth prematurely, yet no harm follows, he shall surely be punished accordingly as the woman's husband imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine.
Okay.
But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for
Okay,
hand.
now what's this law about? This is about 2 men fighting and hurting. This ain't got nothing to do with a slave.
Brother, it has to do with the
This ain't got nothing to do
entire
with a slave.
law of
Come on, bro.
Israel.
This ain't got nothing to do with a slave.
It's
This
the
ain't got nothing-
entire...
This ain't got nothing to do with a slave. Come on, bro.
It does.
What's this law about? What's this law right here about?
It's the entire law of
What's this law about,
Israel.
bro? Tell me what this law is about, bro.
Wait.
I'm about to explain it.
Okay.
It's the entire law of Israel.
No,
It's
what
just
is this law? This law right here.
I'm explaining it.
No, you
Can I
said it's the
explain
entire
it?
law. I'm
Good
talking about
gracious.
this one law. This one law. What is this one law about?
Which part? The eye for eye, life for life?
No. But what's the whole law about? What he's saying is, if 2 men are fighting, right, and they happen to hurt a woman with child, so that she has a baby prematurely.
Why do you think that he's mentioning eyes and tooth repeatedly? It's
You know,
the
this is
same law.
really going to fuck you up when we go to 28, by the way.
It's the same
This
law.
argument you're trying to make is going to be fucking obliterated when we read 28.
Gosh,
It's not the same law. Hey, you know how I know it's not the same law? Because over in the book of Judges, right, when the priest had his concubine and he sent out to get graped on all night, and when she got back and she wouldn't get up, he chopped her body up into little pieces and mailed her around Israel. Did he suffer any consequence for chopping that lady's body up? No, because that was his property.
Yeah, so in Christianity, we don't
Bro, I'm
think
talking
no
about the Bible,
consequence.
bro. I'm talking about
This
the law.
is the
I'm talking about
Bible.
the
This
law.
is what
Okay,
everything's
so
based on. You're talking to
I'm talking about
Christians,
the
are
law,
you
bro. I'm
not?
talking
All
about
right,
the law, bro.
here's the thing. I need to get your contention straight. Are you saying that if a slave owner knocks out the eye of a slave, he is to 1, let the slave go, and 2, his own eye gets taken out?
No, brother.
Okay, then how does that law apply to slaves?
Because in the context, when it's saying eye for eye, tooth for tooth, it wasn't that people were pulling their own eyes out. The whole context is you give equally what was given, right? So, for instance...
So what is the punishment for taking your slave's eye out?
Brother, you let them go free. You give them
How is that
freedom.
punishing you?
What do you mean, how is it punishing
You're
you?
letting a blind slave go?
It's punishing you, 1, because you no longer have that servant.
You did it
2,
yourself.
2, you sinned against the Lord. 3, God knows
If I chop my arm off, is the punishment now that I have 1 arm?
Is that not a punishment?
Right, it's a consequence. You have fucked up your property. Let it go. That's not punishment.
Brother, what is your definition of punishment?
It's an imposition of I don't want to use the word punishment in the definition of punishment.
Consequence, negative consequence.
Retribution.
There we go. Retribution.
That's one type of punishment. That's not the only type of punishment.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know the whole topic here is what is a true Christian, and Bash, I know you were trying to get an understanding of like if the early church, like say the Pope did a thing, they could be wrong. Would you say, Jordan, that Pope Nicholas in the 1400s?
I haven't studied Pope Nicholas.
All right,
He wrote the Doomed Verses.
he's in the apostolic chain, right? Like he's the head of the church in the 1400s.
Well, there's people in the apostolic chain that wouldn't necessarily be part of the church.
That's fine.
So apostolic succession has a lot of different things to it.
That's cool, but he's the Pope, right? And I know that you said that he could be wrong, and I'm with you on that. When he wrote Doomed Verses in 1452, and he said
He wrote what?
Doomed Verses. It's a papal bull in 1452 that basically gave Portugal and Spain the right to go grab people from Africa, and so they hadn't grabbed them yet, right? And he said that these people needed to be Christianized. If they went toward Christ, they could go to Christ and they're good. But if not, then they had to be forced into bondage. Are you saying he got something wrong about Christianity? He wasn't a true Christian when he did that.
I personally don't think you're supposed to subjugate people or make them turn to Christianity.
I'm not talking about what you personally believe.
You're asking me if I think so.
No. I'm asking you if he look, if I said, when somebody said,
asking me,
hold on, let me explain. No, I'm not asking you for your opinion. I'm going to explain why. If I said to you, this person said 3 + 7 is 11, are they correct? I'm not looking for your opinion. I'm looking for something to substantiate.
An objective answer for that.
Okay, cool. So like now I'm looking for something that where you can tell me if you think the Pope got something wrong.
Yeah, I think he got it wrong.
Okay. Based on what?
Based on what the early church taught. We can read the church fathers' teachings on slavery.
Okay, so is it possible that they got it wrong? Like, where's the source of truth here?
So when you're looking at truth in Christian doctrine, you have to look at the consensus of the church fathers, and you also look at the councils.
Okay, so if one church father says one thing, or a group of church fathers says another thing, and then...
It doesn't mean that they're right.
Okay, cool. So then the consensus, are we still looking at the consensus?
Well, yeah, you would. Just
okay.
There's a lot of church fathers. So.
Okay, great. So you're saying if I counted up all the church fathers, they would say boo slavery.
Yeah.
Have you done that? Have you counted up all the church fathers?
Well, we can look at the teachings of those who were over the councils as well.
Ooh,
so now it's all the church fathers plus the ones who were over
I said councils.
Okay, great. So have we tallied all of them up?
Yeah, we can look and see what they say about slavery. Like
I'm not asking
all
about
of these verses.
I'm asking, have we done that?
Yeah, that's the teachings of the church.
Okay, what is the tally? How many are pro-slave and how many are boo-slave?
Yeah, when you say pro-slave, what do you mean when you say pro-slavery?
Pro whatever slavery was in Doomed Verses. So like pro.
He says none of them. You can't find one that's pro-slave.
None of them are pro-slave. How many of them say boo?
Christ is supposed to free us from slavery.
That's fine. How many of them are boo slavery? Like explicitly, they say no to slavery.
They have the same opinion that Jesus does.
Wait, so this isn't a consensus view now. This is a unanimous view.
You follow after what Christ says.
Bro.
Christ can allow for slavery. That doesn't mean that it's something that's like should be the case.
So he didn't do something wrong. I'm just trying to get where we get the rules from, because I'm not a Christian, right? You're telling me
we get the rules.
Hold on. Let me tell you what my perspective is here, because I'm really trying to understand. When Bash asked you who are the true slaves, you said, not the true slaves, the true Christians. My apologies. You said the true Christian would be based on the church fathers, what the church teaches. And the Pope is the leader of the church.
No.
The Pope is not the leader of the church.
Catholic Church.
The Pope is the leader of the Catholic Church. Okay.
Yeah, but he could also be wrong.
That's fine. Everybody can be wrong. I'm asking, so if we're just saying everybody can be wrong, then the church doesn't believe shit.
That doesn't follow at all.
So what I'm asking is, where do I get this rule set from? Is it just people say stuff?
Well, if you're a Catholic, you would get it from the magisterium and the church fathers, which would be the teaching.
Do they have a reasoning for this? Are they just saying shit?
Yeah, they would be quoting all the church fathers. And if you're Orthodox, you would look at what the church fathers say as well as the councils. And none of them say that
when you say they're quoting the church
kidnapping
fathers
or subjugating people.
But when you talk about the church fathers, those are more people just saying stuff. Is there
They have
is there a
authority in the
source?
church. That's why they're church fathers.
Okay, so does the Pope have authority within his church?
Yes, which is
But that's
why
not a
those
true-
people did that.
But that's not a true Christian church.
That has nothing to do with what I said.
The point of what I'm asking you about is how do I'm not
Somebody
a
can
Christian,
have authority and still be wrong.
bro. I don't
Like
care about
Mustache
that.
Man had authority, but he
I
was
don't
wrong.
I don't give two shits about that. I'm not asking about who's wrong. I'm asking about who's right. I'm not looking for you to tell me that person's wrong. I'm asking for you to tell me, a non-Christian who looks out into the world, when I see a person saying Jesus Christ is Lord, and here is the passage in the Bible that tells me to do a thing, how do I identify a true Christian?
Yeah, you would. The way you would do it is by reading the church fathers and reading the councils of the early church.
Okay. And so the church fathers, when they start talking about whatever, they're saying that slavery 100% should be abolished.
No.
Are they saying that specific forms of slavery should be abolished?
Not explicitly.
Okay.
Implicitly, though.
So what is the Pope getting wrong?
That they were savages.
Doom Diversus doesn't say savages.
I mean, that's one of the things he got wrong.
Doom Diversus says enemies of Christ.
Another thing.
I'm
is
not a Christian.
subjugating
Would I be
people who aren't
considered
enemies of-
if I'm not a Christian, would I be considered an enemy of Christ?
Well, subjugation of quote unquote enemies of Christ can be wrong.
I didn't say anything about that. I said if I am
Just ask for an enemy of Christ.
I'm asking but then you told me about subjugation about enemies of Christ.
Because you said that they.
Have you read Doom Diversus, man?
You said in.
Have you read Doom Diversus?
I told you I didn't, but you said
okay,
in it
great.
that he said
I didn't
he was
say anything
subjugating
about.
people.
I did not say subjugation. That word did not come out of my mouth. This is why you're
What
so
did you say
fucking
then?
frustrating. I asked you if I am a non-Christian, am I an enemy of Christ?
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm a non-Christian who's making other people become non-Christians. Am I an enemy of Christ?
Potentially.
I have been presented the word and I've rejected it. Am I an enemy of Christ?
Potentially.
Okay. So when the Pope said that the people on the African continent, by having heard the word and rejecting it, are enemies of Christ and should either be forced into work bondage or made to become Christian, what did he get wrong?
That part. I just answered the subjugation.
I'm just seeing a consequence. I'm saying worship Christ as you're supposed to or work. You're seeing subjugation. So now.
Is that not the same thing?
No.
He's putting people, like we're putting people as servants, as subjugation. If you don't like the word, we could just use a different word.
Fine. So you're saying that creating that consequence is something he got wrong.
Him stating that is incorrect. You don't subjugate people just because they don't believe in Christ.
What did he get wrong? Like, give me something.
That just because they don't believe in Christ or they're enemies of Christ, we should subjugate these people.
And that's based on?
The church fathers.
You said they did not explicitly say to abolish slavery.
The church fathers never said to subjugate individuals because
I'm not talking about what they said. I'm not talking about what they didn't say. I'm talking about what they did say. What did they say about abolishing slavery?
They literally say that we don't subjugate individuals. Like Christ is free. Like that's not how we do things. Paul
referred to himself as a slave of Christ. I'm just asking, what did they say about abolishing slavery?
Brother, that slavery that we had in the United States didn't
exist in 1452. What did they say about abolishing slavery?
Brother, I just explained that.
No, you didn't. You said they said not to subjugate.
You're talking about the ones that was during their time?
In 1452, nobody had reached here yet. Everybody was happy here. We were using soap. We were making medicine. We didn't have anybody with smallpox blankets come over here.
Do you want the people from the 300s, 500s to speak on something that was an invention in the 1400s?
No, I'm talking in 1452 when the Pope wrote Dum Diversas and
There
said,
were
in
no
order to,
church fathers in 1400s.
there was a Pope, and you're saying he got
That was
something
wrong.
Okay, how did he get something wrong?
By saying subjugate individuals when none of the church
He's
fathers
saying
said to do that.
He's saying enslave individuals. Which
Is
church
that not
father?
subjugation?
Which church father said to abolish slavery? Because slavery existed before 1452. I'm assuming.
Yes, and there were Christians who were also slaves.
I don't care. Like, that's fine. Christians were slaves. Jewish people were slaves. Arabs were slaves. Muslims were slaves. Like, I don't know what the fuck this victim shit is. Like, oh, we were slaves
It's
too.
not a victim. It's just
It is
that
a
you don't
victim shit because
understand
I'm
the
not talking
historical
about
context.
that. Bro, I'm not. Am I talking about Christians being slaves?
You're talking about slaves in general. Like slavery.
Okay, so how does it help for you to tell me that Christians were slaves too?
Because when I'm talking in the context of what they said about slavery, they saw slavery as something that the government instilled. Just because they say, oh, if they were to say, oh, let's abolish it, they're not even the government. The whole point of slavery, like the whole point of being a Christian is to be good, one, to your fellow man.
I don't even know what that means.
That's cool. You don't know what that means. It's a basic term.
No, it's not. Let me explain how it's not. If I bring you to Christ by any means, and then you receive salvation, is that a good thing?
What do you mean by any means?
Who cares? Is salvation a good thing?
You can't just force somebody to be Christian. You can call yourself a Christian.
If I force you with a pew to your head, and I have you
can't force somebody.
I
with
can.
It doesn't work like that.
I have tremendous aim, and at point blank, I'm even better. My question is, if I put a pew to somebody's head and I say, you better read this Bible, and you go through the Apostles' Creed or the Nicene Creed, and this is what you believe now, right? And I get them Stockholm Syndrome, where they believe it, and they believe it so hard that they're now going to heaven. Is that a bad thing?
You just made up some scenario where someone just believes and all of a sudden goes to heaven.
Do you think Stockholm Syndrome is not a real thing?
I never said that. You're just
okay. So then it's possible for me
to.
It's possible for me to abuse somebody so hard that they believe to themselves that they believe in God, right?
The quote unquote abuse is the wrong thing.
But I'm not asking about the abuse. I'm asking about their trip to heaven. Is that a good thing?
Going to heaven is a good thing, but not the abuse.
So I did something. Even though I abused them, I did something good for them in the end, right? They got to heaven.
No, you
right?
abused them. God,
but they got to heaven in the end, right?
Something good. You did something horrendous.
Okay, great. So that's what it means to be good.
What? To
is
do
that
horrendous things? Did you
no.
I just said three times that's horrendous. You get no reward for that.
I'm asking. I'm not asking about. Look, now you're talking about a reward. Are you being good because you're going to get a reward?
No,
So those two things are separate.
you get rewards.
You keep adding shit. This is why people, when they talk to you, they start at one topic and they end up in fucking Wonderland with the
you
queen.
Guys are the ones that's asking a
Who
thousand
said
different
reward?
topics.
Me or you?
I'm just answering as you guys say.
Who said reward? Me or you?
I did, because it has to do with
Did I bring up a reward? Did I bring up a reward?
You asked if something was good. When you do good things, you get a reward.
No, you don't get a reward when you do good things.
Says who? You're asking for my paradigm as a Christian.
Is everybody who does good things gets a reward?
Christians.
So what about non-Christians who do good things? Do they get a reward?
That depends on Christ.
Okay, so then not every single person who's good gets a reward. They're not. They're not
good apart from God.
Oh my goodness. So then what is good?
Good means that you align yourself with God.
Can you do that accidentally? Can I as an atheist accidentally follow all the laws?
No, because one of those laws would be following Christ, because it's the law of Christ.
Sans that one. Can I do everything else that's good?
Everything else that's good. There's a lot that have to do with that. You can do a lot of good things, quote unquote.
Oh, so then you can be good without God?
No. The only reason you can do those things is because God allows you to be able to. He gives those graces to all human beings.
And then does he give a reward to God? This is like
Like it's
You're
a
all over the
whole
place.
metaphysics that you just don't know about. I'm just
No,
trying to
I do
explain
know
it.
about it. It's just you're all over the place.
I'm
So
not.
now, for the final time, what did the Pope get wrong? Because you're not telling me what he got wrong.
Did you not hear me say the past 8 times that he got the subjugation wrong? Like you can't force people to be Christian. That doesn't even make sense. You can't force people to believe something.
Sure you can. God does it. But my question
Yes,
is, he tells you you either believe in me or you go to hell.
Oh yeah, that's working on you, right?
Yahweh. It's
Like
Yahweh.
what the
So
freak?
No, hold on.
That
Now
doesn't
you're
even
introducing a
that doesn't
whole
even
other
work in
thing.
your
Hold on, time
paradigm.
out. Hey, moron. Did it work on every black person in Africa? Did every black person in Africa turn to Christ?
How am I supposed to know that?
They did not. That's what you should know. They did
Wow,
not.
so that's proves the point that just because God says something doesn't mean people are going to follow it. Like what the
But
heck?
that's not the point. You said you can't force people. So, okay, so then the Pope did something good because it didn't work on everybody. If it works for God, it works for the Pope, right?
What are you talking about? That doesn't even
You
follow.
said, hold on. This is like you're not even hearing yourself. I said the Pope said you go into bondage unless you believe in Jesus. Now, we'll go the downstream, like some of them did turn and they were still in bondage. But we'll put that to the side for now. He didn't know that was going to happen. He's a human. He said, you either believe in Jesus or you go into bondage. That's what the
That's
Doom the
wrong.
Verses said.
That's wrong.
God says you either believe in me or you go to hell. I'm not talking about the success of either of those. Give me a symmetry breaker.
The symmetry breaker is God is both heaven and hell in Christianity. One is a natural consequence of going against the good. If I hate goodness, when I get the very source of goodness, I'm going to hate that, which is God. So yes, if I say, oh, if I don't drink water, I'm going to dehydrate. Of course, because that's part of our nature. Us being created by God means that we are determined on him for all forms of goodness because he is the source of all that goodness. So therefore, if we turn ourselves away from God, our experience of him is not going to be a loving one because we don't even love him in the first place.
Wait. So you're saying, first off, you're saying I could make God hate me. That's weird. The second thing you're saying
That's not what I said.
that's the entailment of what you're saying.
It's not the entailment.
Wait, if I have a non-loving experience, that means that the person doing it, like it's impact over intent. I don't care what they think they're loving me.
You hate his love. He still loves you. You hate him because you don't like goodness.
You just described grape. The second thing that's a problem.
That is not grape in any way, shape, or form.
Wait, hold on. If somebody offers you their love and you hate it, that's not a form of grape?
In what world?
Got it. Cool. You got it.
You know how many girls I could quote unquote love and they just don't like me? Like what? Where does that come with like physical
and if you
abuse?
continue to persist?
And I could love somebody for the rest of their life. That doesn't mean I'm graping. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Crazy.
Which part of that goes to graping? Like this doesn't even make sense.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. Brother, I don't even know how you even got that in your head.
You're not considering yourself grapey?
Which part of that means I have to go and force myself onto people, like, and have sex with them against their will?
I don't know where to go
where
from
did you
here.
even get
I
that
had
from?
a whole extra shit. I see your face, Christina. I don't understand where to go from here. That's crazy.
That doesn't even make sense.
I know. Well, maybe to you, but that is bonkers.
So because you love someone, you automatically want to treat them wrong? Do you know what a proper love is? You will the goodness for them. Taking them sexually when they don't want to is not willing the goodness. That's not love. I don't even know what that is. That's wickedness.
You know what I love? I'm gonna let you rock. But what I love is how many Christians do not know what the fuck consent is in the chat. I'm weird for saying that if someone doesn't want you to love them, you should leave them alone. I'm weird for that, but you got homie over here. What's wrong with that? Crazy work.
Hey, can someone who is aligned with God grape somebody?
Someone who is aligned?
Yeah.
No, they would misalign themselves.
So in Isaiah 13, when God says he's pulling together his elect, his consecrated ones, and they're going to be doing just that, are they no longer acting in accordance with him?
When did he say he was going to grape people?
Isaiah chapter 13.
What verse?
The grape starts around 14. But the pulling together of his consecrated ones is verse, I think, 2 and 3.
Therefore I shall shake the heavens, and the earth will move out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. It shall be as the hunted gazelle, and as a sheep that no man takes up. Every man will turn to his own people, and everyone will flee to his own land. Everyone who is found will be thrust through, and everyone who is captured will fall by the sword. Their children will also be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered and their wives ravished. So which part of this is commanding of rape? Rape?
Who said that? That's a weird pivot because I never said that.
What did you say? You literally just said
I
that.
said, can somebody be aligned with God and grape?
Yeah, that's what you're trying to insinuate, is that not?
No.
You added the word command in there. I said, can they be aligned with him and still grape?
No.
Read it again.
Or he commanded it.
Who said anything about commanding?
So you think just because God let something happen, like what are you talking about?
No, he brought them together. No, and says this is what they'll be doing.
Yeah, because they turn after demons. They're not aligned with God anymore.
No,
His people.
this is him.
His people.
bringing
He
them
literally says
together.
his people commit adultery because they literally go after demons, and God said they did not know.
Pivot. He brings them together to enact his vengeance. And
where does it say that?
In verse 2, 3.
None of that had to do with and the dashing to pieces. All that has to do with God allowing them to have whatever they want because they go after the demons.
They are
It has nothing to do with
God's
command.
wrath. What are you talking about?
God's wrath is
On the
anthropomorphic language for God letting somebody go. You could read that for the past 2,000 years. Every single church father says that.
Is God's love anthropomorphic?
No, because that's literally because that's literally a positive characteristic.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so anything negative is anthropomorphic. Okay.
I cracked the code.
We don't think that God has wrath. That's logically impossible.
When me no like anthropomorphic. That's the code. When me no like anthropomorphic.
No, it's just it's
when
basic
you don't
common
like
sense.
it, when it's inconvenient for you, it's anthropomorphic.
It's not. God has his attributes eternally, so he can't have wrath eternally. All the church fathers literally say that when you see wrath, it's a disposition of how we feel towards God. The same way as if you have kids.
But how do you point to an authority that is inside your organization? Like, that is the most self-sealing mindset that I've ever seen in my life. Like,
we are a continuation of them.
Yeah, I know you say you are, but everybody says that they are. And it is absolutely wild to me. It's like a secret society. That's what it feels like. But nobody recognizes that authority except y'all. So I don't understand why you point to it as though it's a ubiquitous experience. That's not how this works.
Well, we could logically prove that we're correct and why they're wrong. That's the whole point.
You can reason it, but you can't prove it.
Yeah, we can if they have logical contradictions.
You can prove that they have logical contradictions if they have logical contradictions. But you can't arrive at the theistic position without using logically fallacious reasoning.
You said what?
Yeah, I said that you can't arrive at the theistic position without using logically fallacious reasoning.
And what's your argument for that?
My argument for that is it depends on the person I'm talking to.
Yeah, I mean, you made the claim, so I'm just wondering what's
Yeah,
the
I know.
argument for that.
I know. It's just something I can't demonstrate your logically fallacious reasoning.
Okay.
You're the only one who can do that.
You can't actually demonstrate that.
I could demonstrate it in a conversation with you. How did you come to know God?
Me personally?
Yeah. How did you logically come to God?
So you're just gonna switch the burden of proof to me?
No. You wanted a demonstration.
So can you admit that you don't have an argument for that?
You could run.
I'm just asking. Can you just admit that you don't have an actual proof of that?
Oh, I'm about to.
And also, even if, for instance, even if I were to have something that was logically fallacious, that doesn't mean that someone else does or that every other person does.
Oh,
So
I
it wouldn't
agree.
prove your
I
point.
agree. It does.
So
I
you were
agree.
actually using a logically fallacious claim in the first place.
It wasn't
trying to
logically
make
fallacious.
me a demonstration.
It wasn't logically fallacious. I'm just pointing out that whether or not other people have logically fallacious points, their position doesn't demand it the way the theistic position does.
I mean, that's your opinion. You don't have an argument for that.
It's just when I get ready to demonstrate it, people like you run. Like you just...
That wouldn't prove... Okay, so would that prove that all of them do?
I can go case by case. So far, I've never met anybody who has.
So that wouldn't prove that all of them do, correct?
Hey, 500K just around the corner, guys. Keep tapping.
Okay, so it can't prove it. That's the point.
Oh, it has 100% success rate at least.
I could have 100% success rate if I make one layup. It doesn't mean that every layup I have is going to go in. It doesn't prove universality.
I'm not talking about one instance. I'm talking about every instance.
3 instances, like it's still not going to prove your point. You should probably work on that.
Well, I agree. 3 instances wouldn't prove it to you. I mean, because evidence isn't something you guys actually care about.
I mean, you could just throw ad homs or whatever you want to, just jabs.
That's not an ad hom. So an ad hom is when, if I were to say your point is invalid because of something about you. I just straight up said something about you. I didn't say your point is invalid because of this.
Are you saying that my point is invalid because I'm a Christian?
If your point is invalid, no, actually, that would be an ad hom if I did say that.
You just said theists are this, and that's how you know.
No. What I said was one cannot arrive at the theistic position without using logically fallacious reasoning.
So was it?
I didn't say that a specific argument of yours was false because you're a Christian. I didn't say that. You're twisting it.
We're arguing about you not being able to have an argument. Like this is pointless.
Nobody's arguing about me not being able to have an argument. So anyway, earlier we were talking about God and grape, and I mentioned that I could show where God actually does use grape as a punishment. So you can be in alignment with God.
Can you show?
And commit grape. Yes, I can. So we're going to be at 11 and 12. You can read the full chapter if you'd like, but for the sake of brevity, I will just read these 2 verses. This is what the Lord says. Behold, I am going to raise up evil against you from your own household. I will even take your wives before your eyes and give them to your companion, and he will sleep with your wives in broad daylight. Indeed, you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all of Israel and in open daylight. So we know that this is grape because we know what God is punishing David for. David is being punished for the crime of not only taking Bathsheba, but also sending her husband to unalive on the front lines. In this case, the punishment is, well, this is the second part of the punishment. The first part was God destroying the life of David's child. The second, or maybe that's the second part, but the other part was God having David's son sleep with all 10 of David's wives. And the reason we know that this was grape, okay, because many people would say, no, they accepted it, they did it. That would make it adultery, in which case your best case scenario is God commanded adultery. But we know that it's not adultery because adultery is something that would require their consent. And if they had given consent, they would have been unalived. But they weren't unalived because it wasn't adultery. It was grape. Moreover, it was God commanding that Absalom uncover the nakedness of his father, which, by the way, that's something that God sees as so profoundly disturbing that that's the curse of Ham, okay? That's where the curse of Ham came from, was uncovering the nakedness of the father's wife. So, for this not to be God commanding grape, you would have to somehow reason why they abandoned punishing these 10 women for adultery, and why, and you'd also have to somehow ignore the link in verse 12 where it's pointing out what David did and how God is saying that this is specifically for what David did, and instead of doing it in private, he's doing it in public. So God through Nathan links the two together. So we know that this is grape. We know that God commanded it, and it happens a few chapters later. And then the women are left to just kind of roost, and David never really touches them again.
Okay.
So yeah, you can.
I'm on.
Go ahead and respond, Jordan.
Well, before he responds, I'm about to drop, but I just want to say something to the chat. It's crazy to me that somebody was just talking about grape and maybe they got emotional, and y'all are like making fun of that. Look, I haven't said this in a while, but I swear I stand on this like for real. 150,000 gold pieces to whoever gives me the head of that fuck nigga Yahweh. Like I got the silver platter. So anybody bring me that nigga's head, 150,000 gold pieces for you. 50,000 comes from me. 50,000 comes from Bash. 50,000 comes from Hanji. If you want to add to the pot, you let me know. Because that fuck nigga makes these assholes over here that when they hear, look, I don't care about your booze. You could be like, Jeff got destroyed. That's cool. Because I seen what makes you assholes fucking cheer. I seen y'all cheer at that bullshit. Okay. I'm not crying. What I'm doing is I'm telling you, we going to decapitate your God if he exists. Because he a fuck nigga.
And you know what, Jeff, I think what you're highlighting is the biggest issue that we talk about with religion. Like they position themselves in the superior spot, yet they behave in such a deplorable manner. Like you can cheer over someone having a normal human emotion over something tragic, and you find that as a way to highlight your God and stepping on them at the same time. What makes y'all think that would be appealing to us? Those of us who have empathy, compassion, and care for other human beings, we know how to do that without your God or your apostolic succession or whatever it's called.
Twin, they'd have to care. Like,
yeah,
they don't. Like, the fact that they're calling someone being, like, emotional about rape, right?
Exactly.
And they're calling that virtue signaling. Like, what is your virtue then, you fucking weirdos?
Further,
like,
I'll say
y'all are all abusers for real. Like, that's what you live for. It's fucking sick.
Further, I'll say I'm just going to recap what came out of the dialogue, and y'all going to say it's gaslighting, but it is a true Christian when it follows your shit, and it's a false Christian when it makes you look like shit. That's essentially what we got going on. But Christina, I'll catch y'all later.
Thank you, Jeff.
Everybody on the panel except for the fuck niggas. Peace. Peace.
Love you, Jeff.
Peace.
Yo. I've listened attentively. I haven't interrupted. And literally, Travis, you're annoying me, bro.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Say something.
Hi. Y'all can hear me?
Go ahead.
I've listened attentively. I haven't interrupted. I haven't intervened. I listened to every point since back when Pink Beard was talking. And it's clear to me. These people brainwash you.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Oh, okay. Hold on
No.
one second, beloved. I appreciate the contribution, but give me 1 second. Jordan, did you want to respond? I know that,
Yeah. First of all, putting a bounty on God is crazy. May the Lord forgive him, show him mercy, like all of us.
Well, I mean, the good news is it won't get paid.
Not at all.
You won't, but that's because
It won't get paid because
kill
there's
God.
not going to be, there's no head to collect.
Like he'd have to
'cause
have a head
he's
first.
immaterial. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but he's real.
So,
Yeah, it's the immaterial part. That's why.
yeah. So what he's talking about, that's explained like 50 times in the Bible.
Because
That's
he's
not
risen as
God
Christ.
commanding people to grape individuals. What that is God.
Was.
It
It's
was.
But
not.
except it was.
No,
It's
God
not.
says I
So
will. He says I will cause it. If God says He causes something, and that thing happens, did God cause it?
He takes
So
credit, kid.
God speaks the same exact way in Job, even though Satan is the one that does the actions. He says, "You have enticed me to do this against Job." The whole point is he allows it to
You
happen.
made me do.
Well, he allows it to happen because they go after other demons, like I explained before.
Well, but
And he explains that they give them over to their own devices.
Jordan,
Wait, who were the other demons?
in this
Sorry,
specific case, it's okay. In this specific case, this is not them being given over to demons. This is Yahweh specifically saying, because you've done this thing, I'm going to do this. And then that thing happens. Why is the God not responsible for what he caused to happen?
Pick the
Well, he took
punishment.
credit.
And he picked the punishment, he decided what it was.
He decided what was going to happen to them.
Yeah,
He
David
sent
talks
his
about.
prophet. He sent his prophet to tell him what was going to happen and to take credit for it.
Yeah, so David talks about this as well multiple times. So he says that because you didn't obey me, because Israel didn't hear my voice, I gave them over to their own lusts and their own stubborn hearts, their own counsels. So that's in Psalms 81 if you want to read that. The whole point is when it says I will raise up, it's not that he's actively making people commit adultery or grape or whatever. It's just that he allows these things to happen to a person that was protected from these demonic forces before because he was under David's command. Also, we believe in free will, so
Is
they
there
chose
is
to do
there
that.
is there anything that this God could do that would give you pause? Like, is there a bridge too far when it comes to the actions of this God, or are you just like,
I mean, I would
it doesn't
agree
it
that
doesn't matter?
making somebody like grape somebody would probably give me a pause.
I mean, that's literally what we just read. Now, I understand that you've interpreted it through your theological lens to mean something very different, but the words say what the words say. And I think this is what is most concerning about the impact of religion and what it does, because in an insulated way, you've validated yourself. You've plugged your extension cord into itself, and you see power where there is no power. And you're wondering why we don't see the same light you see. That's not what this book says is what this book says. It says that your God decided as punishment for David, he was going to have his sons rape his wives in public. That is what it says.
Yeah, he allowed that to happen. Nobody disagrees with that.
He didn't only allow it. Like,
He
you're
took
creating
credit.
distance that is not there. That distance is not in the text. He didn't say, I'm going to allow. It was his idea.
Well, literally, David explains this stuff. That's why I gave you Psalms chapter 81.
That
I
is
don't
not an
think
explanation of these verses. That is just
It is.
something that he's saying. No, you want it to apply to these verses because that would
Hold
be
on,
very
Fee, were
convenient.
you done?
All right, I thought she was stuck.
No,
My
go
bad.
ahead, Finn. No, go ahead. You're good, Finn.
Go ahead, Finn.
I don't remember where I was going now. I'm sorry.
Fee, did you want to add anything, or Jordan, did you want to respond?
I mean, they could.
Oh, I have
Yeah,
a
sure.
question.
Yeah.
As a result of David killing Uriah, did God just let the baby die?
I mean, if you read Deuteronomy chapter 39, I believe.
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39, I believe. It says God takes life, so God can take the life of a child. That's
Right. So he took it. Right. He didn't just let it happen.
he controls all life. I
Right.
give and
So
I
he
take
so
away
he's
life. I, the
so
Lord,
so,
do these things.
so then why does it matter that he had people raped if he could just do what he wants with life?
Because graping is an inherently he doesn't
What?
force people against their free will.
Yeah.
Is it inherent? Is it inherent?
Say the other thing you was gonna say.
Which part?
Graping isn't inherently what?
Graping isn't something that has like a form of good in which we say it's inherently evil.
What's the good form of a child suffering and dying in a week?
What do you mean a good form?
You said that rape doesn't have a good form.
Morally, yeah, it's
What's
equal.
what's the moral good of making a child suffer for a week and then killing it?
So when we say moral goods, that has to do with your actions and deciding to do
Yeah.
good
So
or
what's
bad
good about the
things.
action?
What action? The
Striking a
action
child
is
ill,
God.
making it suffer for a week and die.
Yeah, the action is God taking the life. So if he strikes it ill, that could be
Uh huh.
for David's spiritual benefit or whatever. But the child is
That's
going
for
to
his
heaven
benefit. How did he benefit?
by returning his will to God. Like there's different ways. Also, it can be used as a sign of Christ. Because if you notice,
When this
and
baby died, he got up and fucked the same
I
woman
was,
again and had a
I
baby.
was about to explain. So the same way that the innocent died in place of David, who was the guilty, is to show that David, being a type of Christ, being a person who is in God's image, quote unquote, that God was going to send his only son who was innocent to die for the sins of those who were guilty. So it's also to prove more in the Christian paradigm.
Wait, if David's the guy, then why was the son killed?
David was the guilty one.
Yeah, but David's the guy in God's image.
He's the guilty one, though.
I mean, was the dead baby the savior?
In a sense,
How so?
because he is the one that paid for David's wickedry. The same way that
That doesn't
Christ is
make
the
him
one
a
that pays for
savior.
our rich.
That doesn't make him a savior.
I mean, that can be your opinion. It's irrelevant on that. But
Oh, what is wickedry, by the way?
wickedry,
Yeah.
the act of being wicked.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to look it up?
So, how again? Like, what is the salvation this baby offered?
The goodness of God, which is infinite, so the baby will have infinite joy.
The baby
And
offered
infinite peace.
goodness. The baby offered. Oh, so
The
killing
baby
babies
is
doesn't matter
giving.
then.
That's incorrect.
Condense their
I don't even know how you
Well,
got
what
to
do you
that.
mean? You said it was. Well, you said it was good.
God is the one that gives and takes life. We can't do that. That's
Why not?
extremely immoral and wicked because we
Why?
are human beings. If we decide to do that, we're monsters.
Why is God not a monster?
Because he's the one that gave us everything, even though we didn't deserve anything.
So it's just authority.
Yes, the same way
Yeah,
that a
you-
judge can
it
claim
doesn't
that
matter.
someone can get death, but if we
It doesn't
do it,
matter
it's
if he's
illegal.
good. Did a judge give a person life?
Yeah, you can give them life in prison. You can let them
No.
escape. Like it's
The ability to
fucking
live.
clown
The
ass.
ability to live.
Fuck
It's not
you.
a clown. We already
Fuck
know
you,
that
you
different
fucking
people have
clown.
different things. Why are you so mad? Is it
Because you're
no
a
one's ever
fucking
answered
asshole.
this?
No, because nobody's ever danced like this. It's fucking
It's
embarrassing.
not a dance.
Like it's so
basic.
funny
It's
to me that you have like all these little
This
fangirls
is
in here, and you're
basic
so
moral
fucking bad at this.
philosophy.
You're so bad at this. It's fucking hilarious to me
This
that you
is
have all these
basic moral
fangirls cheering you on.
philosophy. Even atheist
I'm
philosophers will tell
sorry.
you
I'm
the
sorry.
same
Did you
thing.
say did you say moral philosophy when you just ignored your God's command to rape 10 women and you literally referred to moral philosophy? Like, are we serious right now?
He didn't command that. So that's not a proposition I
He
believe.
absolutely did. Whose idea was it? Who decided on the
The
punishment?
people who decided to grape, that was their idea.
Who decided on the punishment?
That's dishonest.
It wasn't
Right.
God who decided. He knew what they were going to
And-
do once he
and that's-
released us.
That's why I say this is delusional on a different level, because the book says what the book says, and that's why I asked you that question. How far would you go? How far would this God have to go? Like, would it be like, what would he have to do for you to say, oh, wait a minute, that's not good. I shouldn't be looking for ways to excuse this and ignore it. Like, this is not good. If it were me, I wouldn't want that done to me. At what point do you do that as a human?
Do you want me to answer that, or was that
I
rhetorical?
do. No, I do. I would love to hear an answer, honestly.
Yeah, so I would do that when there's not a logical explanation that can be provided, especially one that was given for thousands of years and has always been the same argument that the church has always given. So we have answers for all of this stuff. And
Well,
I'm
you never
literally one of the
right.
least smart individuals in this field, and I can
Right.
answer these questions based
But
off of what
Jordan,
these church fathers say.
Giving an answer does not always give understanding, right? And I
This is
think
true.
that's part of what the oh my goodness religion does. It gives people a drop down menu of responses depending on the denomination, but it doesn't explain anything. Because what we're talking about when we read these stories are humans, people, and when you have a book. And in this book, people are treated as objects. You look out in the world and you see that same thing played out, and it is heartbreaking. And I don't understand why more people are not realizing how these various denominations do nothing but pit us against each other and allow us to ignore atrocities playing out in front of our faces. What if you're
Yeah,
wrong? Everybody can't be right. We know that. All of y'all can't be right. It can't be Eastern Orthodox right, Baptist right, Muslim right. All of y'all can't be right. We know that. But every single one of y'all can be wrong, and people are dying because of it. Do
yeah.
y'all not
So
see that?
yeah, so basically, the reason that when we read the Bible it looks a lot like today is because the Bible does give stories of things that actually happen. It gives stories of how the human, disposition is. And that's why we have the triumph of Christ to show us how we're supposed to live. If everybody lived how Christ lived, how we're supposed to live, we wouldn't have these issues. And we keep telling people this every single day, and they still don't listen.
But
People use their
that's not
quote.
Jordan. That's not true because when Christ was on earth, he didn't impact change. They were there. He was
He
there,
didn't
and
impact
people.
change.
He was there, and people didn't live like him. He was
You were
there,
just
and people did not live like him. Why is there this expectation that homogeny is the only way to peace? People don't have to think like you. And if they don't think like you, that doesn't make them bad. It just makes them different. This isn't rocket science. I don't know why we can't zoom out just a little bit, zoom out and look at what you're saying, not only what you're saying, but what you're doing by way of accepting a belief system that requires you to reinterpret the words in a book from a God that metes out punishment. And that punishment is to grape 10 women who did nothing wrong. And you have to excuse that.
literally
Even if
all
they did do
Christianity.
something wrong, what the fuck is great a justifiable punishment?
It wasn't something that he made them do, like I said. But
Uh,
the
uh,
whole point of
Is
Christianity is to tell people to be decent human beings. But when you tell people to do whatever whatever feels good towards themselves, that's the opposite. That's chaos. The
That's
reason I
not
tell
chaos. That's not chaos. And the thing is, and nobody is no.
Is that
Why do y'all go to the extreme as well?
fucking
Like,
weirdos?
it's
right?
not even what extreme did I give?
You said everybody doing whatever they want to do. Nobody is proposing a world without rules. Nobody's saying that.
Then what are the rules?
You talk about having objective morality, but the moment that you process that moral objective through your human mind, it becomes subjective. Even a moral objective has to be applied subjectively. You can even see that in your own denomination. There may be one person that thinks modesty is at this level and another person that thinks another thing. It is subjective. Y'all just like to call it objective, even though you know you have to process it individually. This isn't solving anything. Everybody thinking that if the world just believed like me, then we'd be great. You get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't work that way.
We don't say that if everybody believed like Jordan, if everybody believed like Nick, if everybody believed like Finn or Fee, that the world would be a better place. No, we're saying if everybody acted like Christ, the world would be a better place. We only point people to Christ. We don't
Christ,
point people to ourselves. Christ is the one
Christ was right. Christ was cool with slavery, Jordan. Christ was good with. He gave he gave a lesson using the institution of slavery. If he were God and he were above human frailties, then he would have told you don't do that. Don't own another human being.
No. You
if
give
Jesus
different people different standards based off of what they can bear.
Wow.
If you are starting to
what?
weightlift, I'm not going to give Christina 200 pounds to bench at
This
first.
is not that though.
I'm not going to give. It's the same
This is
exact
not
thing.
analogous.
It is analogous. You just want to
It's
say it's
not.
not. When people are
It's not because he
incapable,
could just say owning people as property is bad. I
and
do
then
not
to the
like it.
detriment of the people who are hearing. If God wants to save
To the
souls, he can
detriment of the
allow.
people who were hearing.
Yes, if God
How is
wants
that
to.
going to be
They didn't have
detrimental to them?
slaves at the time. They didn't have
Yeah.
slaves at the time they were given the instructions on the institution of slavery
Who?
by this God. That wasn't the case. They had
Who?
just been delivered out of Egypt themselves from being in bondage. So why are you
So-
acting like the God that told them not to plant certain crops next to each other couldn't tell them not to own other people as property? Are you okay?
If they came from slavery, then clearly the slavery existed. He's giving these
He's
people who are
telling
already.
them where to go get their own slaves from. Like, are you like, what are you doing? You're not.
He's
you're not.
telling them how to
Who put them in
install.
that slavery to begin with, though?
Okay, he's telling them how to install a system where
Of
people
slavery.
one have rights, people
Of
two because
slavery.
a lot of these people at that time couldn't even eat without this system because
So
there
still have
was no
rights.
welfare systems. Like this is like a
I'm
basic
not even talking
misunderstanding
about the
of
fucked up
history.
institution of indentured servitude. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about the chattel slavery that the book talks about, right?
Which part? Which part of that? Which part is the wrong instance that you're talking about?
Both of them are wrong. For an all-powerful God, you can part a whole sea and walk people through. You can do all these tricks and all this other cool, all this shit, right? But you can't. You need to enslave people. You need
can't do
to
logical
make people work
contradictions.
as forced labor. You can't let there be and there fucking be. What happened to that motherfucker? Where'd he go?
He
Can I have
can't do
a-
logical contradictions.
Bring him back, because this one needs people to be bound and forced to do labor for him. I don't understand that.
God can't do logical contradictions. When people set up their own
God
systems
can't do
already,
much. As a matter of fact, I go as far as say God can't do anything outside of the people who carry him in their hearts and minds.
I mean, you would just be wrong, but that's not the point. The point is that
Show me Christianity without a Christian. Like
that doesn't mean that God wouldn't exist. He could sustain a world of Jews and Muslims.
Show me Christianity without a Christian, though. Like, show me any deity without a person to believe in it. Like,
The
that's
deity
where
would
they come
still
from.
exist.
In what way?
He would be the fundamental principle of all things true and of
For
the
whom?
universe.
For whom?
Whether you like it or not, it would be everybody.
No, but it will be everybody. Not if those people don't believe in it. Like the moment people think of the number of deities prior to Yahweh, prior to recorded history. Like the curiosity of humans is an evolutionary thing. Like we've been wondering and looking at the stars for eons. Like they pretty sure they had their gods and things of that nature. Like
Those gods existed.
disappeared. They disappeared when the last person that believed in them disappeared.
No, they didn't. We don't believe that in Christianity.
Well, I know you don't believe it, but how? Tell me how it's different though. How would you?
Even
how
if
would a God-
everybody,
In Christianity, you can't believe those people existed.
yes,
Well,
we
that's
can.
true too.
Can I say something?
So,
No, Courtney. We'll
so
let you know
even
when you can
before,
talk.
even if like I was obliterated and everybody forgot my memory, that doesn't mean I didn't exist. These entities still exist. We actually believe that they believed in actual entities. They're just demons. Like that's Christian belief. That's why God says they were sacrificing the demons and not me.
That's cool, but I mean, it's a belief. Like that's the same
Yeah,
as like
but we have
Marvelism.
logical proofs for God's existence. Like there's,
But
we've
what can
always
your
had some.
what can your God do? Like what does your logical philosophical proof of your God do? What verbs can you put behind this? Because
None.
we've got real life problems on this planet today. And if you've got you got an all powerful deity on speed dial, please let us know. Because I got some shit that he could be doing.
Hello? Like Yahweh do list is just mounting. Mounting.
I mean, he sustains us all in existence.
No, he
Like
doesn't
for even
sustain
to
it.
even have this live,
He,
that's what the logical proofs
he
prove.
sustains us all. About 9 million people a year unalive from starvation. He sustains us all.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
That would be the
Just
logical
forgot about that.
entailment
Yeah,
that
Dr.
God
B wanted to
existed.
know. Dr. B wanted to know what kind of logical contradiction concerning slavery you were referencing earlier. Dr. B, you want to come up? I can drop down.
A new diet, and let's say, who knows? Let's say vegan or paleo was like the end goal, but you would start like peaceful. But actually, they what they were currently doing was drinking poison. Would you say just start drinking less poison?
For what? I don't even know how that's
Well,
analogous.
how do you taper down? Do you just you don't prohibit the harmful behavior? You just say do less of it. I'm going to regulate how much poison you consume.
I mean, it tapers down to today where we literally have little forms of slavery in that capacity. That's literally what happened because of Christianity. Like
But
it's just
I
He
also
he's
don't
tired as his argument is, clearly.
I also don't
Yeah.
understand how can you say that's the only thing that God could have done? Like God didn't have any limitations. God could have
he
like snapped his finger or wiggled his nose or however he does his miracles to create a society where they had everything they needed when everybody was free. So to say that that was the custom of the time, so God regulated it, you're limiting your all-powerful God to being or to having to work within the confines of the culture at the time. That doesn't make any sense for God that has all the power.
he already did that. That's what Adam and Eve were. They were living in paradise, and then they messed that up.
Oh, then his
But
powers
He
got
doesn't say a
limited.
paradise. He
he
says
can only do it one
self-sufficient.
time.
You said
Like
what?
No, I'm saying he can only do that one time. Like, what would he can't get a second go round?
I mean, that's what heaven is for people who choose it.
No, I was talking about in that moment that we were just discussing.
God's not going to redo his whole plan of creation just because every time we decide to sin, oh, let me just restart again. Like, that's not how that works. He provided us a way of salvation through Christ. It's not even that hard, really.
Well, I mean, it just seems unnecessary. It just seems like a very logistically flawed plan. Like and then to know that the plan was going to work out the way that it worked out and still do it anyway, that doesn't make, because if he's omniscient, then that includes like the good things and the bad. So he knew that things are going to be this fucked up, and he chose this plan anyway. That's odd to me.
Yeah, because he doesn't allow bad things to overcome his ultimate goal of bringing people to him. Like, we have a choice, and people are just upset that we have the ability to choose him.
Well, he's doing a pretty bad job of it, because there's nothing attractive to me about trying to align myself with a God that would come up with this kind of plan that includes the book that is his instruction manual and the people that represent him. Not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all that represent him on the earth. You're not pleasant people. You're very unpleasant in that you make assumptions about people who don't think like you, and you live in this narrow field that tells you that the things that you think about these people are true because of how you think, and that's not appealing at all. That's restrictive.
I mean, there can be people who can turn you off to Christianity. That doesn't mean that Christianity is false. So that doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Those are two completely separate things. I mean, I think Christianity is false in and of itself. I mean, the book makes no sense. And then I think the behavior of Christians is for the most part icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's another fallacy. Just because you don't think it makes sense doesn't mean it doesn't. Like, I can give rocket science to people. It won't make sense to some people. That doesn't mean it's false.
What's the fallacy?
It's a fallacy from incredulity.
It's the giving your opinion fallacy.
No, it's the fallacy from incredulity.
That's not what personal incredulity is.
Yeah,
You can look it up.
I know what it is. I don't have to look it up.
Then you would know what it is.
No, I know you're misapplying it.
I'm not, because
It's okay. Like, you could just say
to her, therefore it's false.
She didn't say therefore it's false. She gave her thoughts on it.
Brother, we just heard her say it.
It's weird to me how you guys you try to frame an ultimatum as a choice? Like, do you think they're the same thing?
What?
An ultimatum and a choice?
I mean, it's irrelevant to anybody's opinion whether it is or not.
Can you wake up?
What does that mean?
Because, like, for instance, you already entailing a type of free will into this when you're saying an ultimatum or a choice.
What?
Oh, you said we have a choice.
Yes.
And I'm saying, do you consider an ultimatum a choice?
Yeah.
Do you consider it a fair choice?
I mean, yeah, it's literally based off of our nature. It's like, oh, you can choose to drink water or not. Like, that's just how we are. I can drink water so that way I don't die. Like, that's in my very nature. We can choose goodness or not. That's just the fact of us existing, of being creations of God. There's nothing that's unfair about that.
If you choose to not drink water, you would die, right?
Yeah, is that unfair?
Is that eternal punishment?
What does that have to do with that being unfair? You said just because it's an ultimatum, it's automatically unfair. So it's not is having the choice to drink water or not unfair?
That is not an ultimatum. That's not imposed by an agent.
Brother, the agent.
That's just a brute. That's a brute fact of biology.
Yeah, and it's a brute fact of all reality that you can either choose God or not. So by your definition, that's not an ultimatum, then.
No, it's an ultimatum because you're put in this house, and he says, "Choose me, or I burn the house down."
I mean, he's literally just saying you either choose me or you don't.
And what happens if you don't?
Then you don't like goodness. That's just the only thing that happens. Like, you choose to go more and more towards non-existence.
That's just framing. That's just framing.
That's all hell is.
There's no option. There's no option to not choose and just be.
Yeah, you can't not choose existence.
Yeah,
you
it's
exist.
an ultimatum.
Like, there's nothing unfair about that.
No, eternal punishment is unfair.
How is that unfair?
For a finite transgression, you think eternal punishment is fair?
One who said it's finite.
When people are mortals, they live and die. You can only commit wrong for so long.
Yeah, but people in their souls, if they choose something that's just wicked, and that's what they like, that's what they go on doing.
So you're saying when you're sent to hell, you can repent and go to heaven?
Irony.
You don't want to.
You don't want to. You think everybody in hell loves it?
Well, they don't love goodness, and that's your only choice. You can either choose to exist or not exist.
So you're saying nobody who goes to hell, for whatever little reason, right? Because disbelief is not the only thing that would send you to hell, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So somebody goes to hell and repents. Is there?
They don't repent in hell.
Why not?
Because they don't want to.
Why don't they want to? How do you know they didn't just have a fuck up and didn't get a chance to repent for it?
If that's the case, then God will judge them accordingly. I have no
by
reason
sending
to
them
think
to
that they
hell.
would just go. I don't think that's going to happen.
What's the other option?
Heaven. Free.
So people go to heaven with sin.
Yes.
So God can be in the presence of sin.
We have sin on earth, and we no longer have that sin once we're dead. So that.
Do people in hell have sin?
So what do they go to hell for if we don't have the sin once we're dead? That's a good question. If the wages of sin is death, then once we die, shouldn't we have paid for our sins? What's hell for?
Yeah, hell is the second death.
Well, I don't have to die twice for one life of sin.
Because when you die, whatever state that your will is in, that's the state that you always want to align with.
That makes sense. I like that one. That actually brought me back in the fold. Christina, can I get in the bottom 4 squares?
No.
Fuck.
They're all taken.
Hey, God blocking me, bro. Save me.
Actual believers. Thank you very much.
And that's what the church fathers and
You're locked in.
Philosophers.
It's like if you make a face and someone slaps you on the back, you get that expression gets stuck on your face.
No, it's the equivalent of if I really want something, even though there's other options, it's not going to make me not want that thing which I really desire.
Hey, can I share something?
I
don't mean to butt in.
Yeah,
SFM.
you on.
Second for me, okay? See what's up, and then Dr. B, did you want to? I know you came up. Did you want to speak with Jordan?
Going past the slavery thing, that was the only thing I was not really understanding.
I don't mind if you. I don't mind if you want to circle back to that. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just didn't understand the God couldn't have done away with it part.
Yeah, so we think that God wants the best for all creatures. So if he would have said, oh yeah, let's just end this, it could have been a detriment to people's spiritual benefit as well. So we don't think that God just can snap his fingers and then change everybody's wills. Well, he could, but that wouldn't be like a free choice, and they wouldn't
Well,
get.
Were people enjoying shellfish? Sorry, Dr. I didn't step on your shit. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I guess I don't understand the will part. Because I mean, certainly in the Hebrew Bible, I mean, the whole point of the Hebrew Bible, the way that its final form came about, at least the Deuteronomistic history, is that God said, "I want you to do X," and they continuously said, "We're not going to do X." So I mean, I don't understand necessarily what you're saying, that God can't command them not to do something because they won't do it.
Yeah, so God's not going to command something if it's going to mean the detriment of his people.
Well, isn't that just an assumption that you're bringing to the table, that it's going to be a detriment?
Just like it's an assumption that God can just snap his fingers and then everything's good.
Well,
so
I don't know.
I'm basing my assumptions off of what like, the church fathers say.
Yeah, that's fine. I think maybe we're talking about two different things. It sounded like people on the panel were saying, why couldn't God give a law about it? And you seem to be moving toward God changing people's wills. And I don't think those two things are connected.
Yeah, so if he gave a law and it affected people's spirituality, like Paul says.
But that's the assumption.
Yeah, just like the assumption is that that God could just snap his fingers and it wouldn't cause problems, it'd make everything better.
When you say snap his fingers, are you saying give a law? Are those two things the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think then at that point you'd have to be looking at like what does the evidence sort of lean us toward, right? And if you look in the earlier law collections of Exodus and Deuteronomy, you have Israelites being able to be taken as debt slaves. But by the time you get to the Holiness Code in Leviticus, they're not allowed to be kept as debt slaves anymore, right? The Israelites they're not allowed to keep them as debt slaves any longer.
That would prove my point.
Well, I don't know that it would, though, because it sounds like that's where, if what you're saying by that is that God is working them out of it, great. It's sort of, if that's the case, it sounds like he can, like, tell them within the course of giving the law that he can tell them, don't do this, right? Because he did. He said, don't do it to fellow Israelites.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why I was telling them earlier.
Right, but he doesn't say it about foreigners. That was their point.
But you're automatically assuming that God has to do things within that time limit. So
what you
I'm just saying.
Right, but Jordan, it sounds like what you're saying is that God is working them out of something. But he gets to the point where he says, okay, look, slavery is bad for you guys, so don't do it to each other. But then stops there and really never gives any further word on it, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm saying God uses the mental states of the individuals. He gives them what they can handle. That's why we had the weightlifting thing.
But I feel like that's the assumption.
Yeah, we're both making assumptions here.
What is my assumption? What's my assumption?
Are you assuming that God could do that? That he could say, hey, guys, don't do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't affect their spiritual health?
I don't know what spiritual health means, but...
Yeah, what is that?
That's the point.
He gave them all kinds of restrictions.
Yeah, I never had spiritless.
You said what?
So
Yeah, he gave them. He didn't want them committing adultery, so he said, "Don't commit adultery, punishable by death."
Yeah, he
Yeah, but
also
it's a
didn't want
mortal
them
sin.
divorcing, right? He's
Oh, shut
against.
the fuck up, J. Rob.
No, J. Rob, and I think I think that's a fair point, right? And I think that that's something that if you're coming at this from a Christian perspective, which you guys are, that's something that you can look to. But the problem is that first he doesn't end divorce in Matthew 19, right? It's just don't do it this way. So if we're going to make that analogous to slavery, even in the New Testament, if you're making that analogous to slavery, he's not saying don't do slavery. He's saying do it the right way.
He gave laws permitting child.
Yeah, my
Bruh,
point.
you know how this shit goes. You know how this shit goes, bro. You've been sitting here quietly for a fucking reason. Don't crack. Don't try to act brand new.
Yeah, but like I was saying, my point was to give a reason why God may have not done that. Because as
Yeah, but
things in
how do you
Christianity says,
justify that? Like, what did you say? Was it there's spiritual? Was it spiritual what harm or something?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, I think, sorry, I think it's fine to give a possible explanation, but are you okay just stopping there? Because I think
well,
I can grant that. I think at that, from an academic standpoint, you then have to like build a case for it and say that's
yeah,
the most reasonable solution.
I based that off of the early church and what they say. So I'm a Christian. We're debating this from a Christian standpoint. So
Well, I
I
mean,
use what the church fathers say.
that sounds like a very orthodox Christian perspective, but
Amen.
okay, no, that's fine. I mean, it's fine. Look, hey, look, I hear you. Like, if sort of your parameters for the discussion are if the church fathers say it, then it must be right. Like, I don't know where else to go
I'm
with that.
saying that's like that would be like one of the ways in which we do that now.
Right, right,
Because they're arguing from a Christianity perspective.
right. No,
Now, if
and
we were doing it from like the Jewish perspective, like you were saying, then I would probably have to prove my point as to why Christianity has to be the lens in which we look through this from.
I don't know that I'm doing it from a Jewish perspective.
Yeah, I know you're doing it from an academic type of thing. I'm just saying, like
I
in
gotcha.
general.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that answered my question. Okay. Cool. Sorry to
No, you're
spin that
okay.
I'm
around.
not gonna lie, I'm kind of hungry. I might have to go to Popeyes, so I don't know.
I'd probably have
I
to
know
drop
y'all
down
love.
too.
Appreciate talking to you, Doctor.
Yeah, good talking to you too.
And yeah, I know y'all want to talk to J. Rob, so he's probably y'all favorite, as I've been told by many atheists and
You're a gem. Really a gem.
theists. I like.
Makes our day a little bit brighter every time he joins us. So.
Yeah, they love to hate me.
But hey, but you see, in the same way, I'm allowing J. Rob to do it. I ain't forcing him, so it's the same type of punishment. You see, it's the same. It's the same punishment. I'm giving J. Rob to y'all.
Condoning it. You're
Don't
condoning.
cook the chicken, Jordan. Enjoy your chicken. Enjoy
You're
your
condoning
food.
this evil.
All right, I'll see y'all. God bless.
Take care of yourself.
He trying to whisper that shit, bro. Say it with your chest next time.